Hey there, Wargamers, and welcome to today's Warhammer 40k Battle Report. I am Luka from MiniWarGaming.com, joined by Ian, and together, today, we bring you a part of the great game. It will be Demons on Demons. Their new codex is out, so we figured, why not show off 2 of the 5 major parts of it? It will be Nurgle against Slaanesh in a 2,000-point match. Let's take a quick look at the Nurgle list first. I was considering Khorne, but everyone knows my heart lies with Nurgle. Now, leading it, we have a great unclean one. He will be our warlord. We are going to spend a couple command points on this big, thick boy here to give him the warlord trait and a relic. Moving on to the rest of the list, a pair of HQs here to support. We do have a Spoilpox Scrivener, as well as a Sloppity Bile Piper, both very great support choices for Nurgle armies. Moving on to troops, one of the main changes in this Demon Codex that I at least noticed was that all of the core demons for all the Chaos Guides, Plague Bearers, Demonettes, Pink Horrors, and the Bloodletters are all capped at 10 strong. They cannot go above 10, and nor can they go below 10. That is all you get. So I have 5 units of 10 Plague Bearers with full command in each squad, and 1 additional unit of Nurglings. I thought they might be pretty useful, so I didn't want to bring a 6 unit of Plague Bearers here. And they're a little bit cheaper as well. Moving on to elites, Beasts of Nurgle are amazing looking. In theory, we'll see how they actually play in practice. I have, because I can only bring 3 elites, I have a pair of Beasts of Nurgle and 2 individual choices. Because I like them individually more so. Units of them, still pretty good, but the individual choices I think will kind of make your opponent have a harder time deciding on which one to attack, especially if you have 2 attacking the same unit, but they're 2 different choices. Fast attack, we have 2 units of 3 plague drones. And lastly, we did bring a feculent gnarl moth because these little pieces of terrain are going to be quite useful for these demonic forces, I would suspect.
Alright, starting with the Slaanesh Army, the host of XS, we've got ourselves, it's being led by Shalaxi Hellbane. Never run it before, because this army's been wildly messed up because of the changes, and I can't run 90 Daemonettes anymore. So, we've got ourselves 2 Keeper of Secrets. 1 is the Fast Keeper, 1 is the Attacky Keeper. Fast Keeper is going to be holding a Ritual Knife, so bringing along with them, I have a Torment Bringer, or Forward Herald, on an Exalted Seeker Chariot, and a Torment Bringer also on just a regular Seeker Chariot. 6 squads of 10 Daemonettes, which is unfortunate. I really like those big blobs of 30 Daemonettes. Hilarious. But that's not what we got. We got all of them running icons, instruments, and the Allurus. Thankfully, the studio had a few extra of each because I was not prepared for this change. But everyone that looks really veto-ish is the champion for the units that look a little weird. We've got a Hell Flare, which is something I've always been really interested to try out. It's as is, and we've got 1 extra Exalted Seeker Chariot, which I'm not looking forward to putting one of these together myself. So that'll round out everything I've got for this army at 2,000 points.
We play and call it work. MiniWarGaming's Warhammer 40k Battle Report.
Ian and I will be playing the first mission from the Strike Force mission rules from Warzone Nephilim. It is Recover the Relics. Now, as you can see, there are 6 objectives. 1 in each player's deployment zone, and then there are 4 in no man's land. Though it's important to point out that each player will have a territory that takes up half the table. So there will be a total of 3 objectives in each player's territory. We will be deploying hammer and anvil style along the short table edge, and we will be 24 inches apart. The 2 primary objectives we have here are take and hold. That is points for controlling 1 objective, 2 objectives, and more than your opponent. That is 4 per, to a maximum of 12. And then break them, body and soul. At the end of the battle round, you'll score a victory point for each enemy unit that was destroyed, to a maximum of 3 per battle round. Now, the important thing to note here is for the Battleforge CP bonus, we will both be getting that. However, we're only going to be getting it if you control an objective in their opponent's territory or an objective in no man's land. So it cannot count the one in your own deployment zone. So I get a little lucky there with the Nurglings. They'll help with that regard. And we'll see if that matters or not. Wanted to take a look at the table before Ian and I muddy it up with our armies here and give a shout out to some of the terrain companies here. The mat itself is from Table War, so it's your 44-inch by 60-inch playmat that can be used for Age of Sigmar or 40k. They obviously have a lot of other options, and they sell 6x4 mats as well for games like the Horus Heresy and old Warhammer Fantasy Battles. The objectives we have here, the numbers don't matter on them, but they are from Wrath's Reach, our Canadian friends from down east, as we like to say. Go check them out if you haven't already for more Warhammer 40k content. And then Adam over at Greenleaf Terrain has constructed the rest of the terrain here in conjunction with the Games Workshop weird like Death World vegetation, essentially, which kind of makes sense for the great game. I try to set up a battlefield here that would work for a couple of demonic forces fighting like who knows where, like literally like some battle in some weird plane of existence that like will never see the light of day, but it matters for them in the great game that is timeless. And I figured I'd have some fun with it because we're both melee armies, so we don't need runes. We don't need anything like that really on this table. We have a few things that are dense and breachable so that the monsters can't run through them. So the monsters are kind of limited to where they go generally. But they'll be essentially woods. These will be obstacle woods for all intents and purposes. These will be the crater equivalents. And like these are going to be crater equivalent as well. So it's like a lot of terrain slowing us down. So it'll suck for Nurgle. But we'll see if we can't make it work all around, and the cover won't matter at all because we have the new demon saves, which are unmodifiable. Can't go up, can't go down. I wanted to remind our Silver Vault members you have access to many discount codes in the Vault section of the website. So if you go and meander over there, you'll see what I mean. There's well over 50 companies now. You don't need to be Silver Vault member to benefit from it, but you do, sorry, to see it, but you absolutely do need to be a Silver Vault member to benefit from it. You can click on the link in the description below or go to miniwargaming.com/silver discount. Table War is one of the BattleMat companies in there for an example. There's GameMat.eu, Urban Mat, a lot of hobby supplies, models, model supplies, you name it, it's probably in there. I bid you to go check it out. Anyways, we'll be right back. I'm going to show you what our armies look like once deployed. And voila, we are deployed. I won the roll-off. I chose this side of the battlefield here. And before deploying the things in reserve, a couple units of Plague Bearers. So I got 2 of them. Demons have some unique reserve rules, which I'll go over in a second, which makes them very valuable in a lot of cases. We got drones, Plague Bearers, Great Unclean One. Plague Bearers making a line in the back because Ian also has things in reserve, and I don't want them getting back in my backfield so easily. We got Beast Nurgle. We have the Sloppity Biopiper and the Scrivener. More Plague Bearers. Both are within 6 of this guy. Not that matters too much. Being within 12 is good for him. He's got the Doomsday Bell. I'll explain what that does when it comes up. Nurglings for deploying. The only unit to be able to get on an objective outside of my deployment zone, which is big, because that means I'll get a command point right away. And if I go first. And the Slaanesh Demons will not. Ha ha ha, because they're not on one of the 4 objectives in the middle. Nerds. We got our more Beast Nurgle over there. I can't see them because of a rock, actually. Let me go to that side. We got the Nurglings for deployed. Beast Nurgle and a unit of 2. And then our Plague Drones over on this flank as well. And then on Ian's side, he does have... which Keeper is in reserve?
We got a Tacky Keeper in reserve. So that's Speedy Keeper right there.
And then Demonettes as well?
Yeah, we got 10 Demonettes because I don't know where I'll need them.
Yeah, that's fair. And then we have our... which one's the Herald? The
Small Chariot and the Chariot with Green Tongues.
Gotcha. Okay, so that is the Exalted Torment Bringer.
Yep.
This is just the Exalted Chariot. This will be the Secret Chariot, and then the Torment Bringer. Oh wait, no, there's only one of these. Yeah, okay, I thought there was 2 of them because I forgot. I thought the Hellflayer was
That's
the
a
other one.
Hellflayer. Yeah.
That's Torment Bringer on a Secret Chariot, Torment Bringer on an Exalted Chariot. This is just an Exalted Chariot. And then that's the Hellflayer. Then we have Shalaxi, Demonettes in the back screening against my reinforcement units. And then there's Demonettes littered throughout the rest of the battlefield here. Now, the way that the demonic reserves work is, and there's 2 things. If you're all demons, it's a little bit more powerful. Otherwise, it's pretty basic. You have units called Warp Locusts, which is Feculent Narmal is, and I believe Shalaxi is one as well. You could show up with your reserves wholly within 6 of this and more than 6 away from the enemy and still charge legally. But if you're all demons, in addition to that, you gain the rule that like your whole army's Legion Demonica, you could show up more than 3 away from enemies in your own deployment zone, and then still charge and do everything you want normally. The normal rules for the enemy's deployment zone, and then if it's in the middle, in no man's land, you could show up just outside of their modified leadership. Whatever their leadership, whatever the unit you want to show up near, say it's guardsmen, like modified leadership down to 4, you can show up outside of 4 and then boom, charge. Very cool rules. That's only like all demons. On top of that, I do want to say that we're playing Eternal War, so we have our 6 objectives down. Got a Battleforge CP bonus. We're going to be playing with the Nephilim rules naturally. But we thought it would be fun between Slaanesh and Nurgle if we chose all the demon secondaries. So we could just focus more on, like, we're both focusing on the same objectives essentially. And they're all reasonable. And then we're more just showing off our cool, like, demonic rules. Like, one thing they took away, in addition to the unit sizes, is that there's no more locusts. So Slaanesh does not advance and charge anymore. They just move really fast. Demonettes used to move, I believe, 7 before.
Yep.
And they could advance and charge. Now they just move 10. So like they didn't completely take it away. Mechanically they did, but they added simplicity into the moving characteristic. I can't remember what Nurgle like got extra damage, I believe, on some of their melee attacks, but then they built it into other profiles elsewhere. They have more attacks now. They have more rend. They do more damage in general. So you're going to see a lot of that in a lot of regard. I'll go over our secondaries here briefly. The first one is Battlefield Supremacy. Reality rebels. At the end of every 1 year turn, starting from the beginning, you'll get a victory point for each table quarter that has a Chaos Demon unit from your army wholly within it. It does not include Heretic Astartes if you're playing the Legion of Be'lakor. And you'll gain a victory point if you're wholly within 6 of the battlefield. It does not count units that are split between the two. You have to be committed to one of them. So wholly within 6 or wholly outside of 6 in the middle and in one of the table quarters. Easy Battlefield Supremacy points there. Like right off the rip, you get 2 per turn just for your 2 table quarters. It doesn't matter if there's enemies there or not. Then we have No Mercy, No Respite category. This is nourished by terror. Each time an enemy model flees the battlefield, you will score a victory point. You could have 15 models leave the battlefield in 1 turn and max it out. And they do reduce the leadership and combat attrition of enemies within, I believe, 6. I'll double check that later. That's just demonic terror, which doesn't mean we're immune to it. We both suffer the effects of demonic terror as well. The second bullet here, however, though, is every time an enemy unit is destroyed by a demon unit, before removing the last model in the unit from the battlefield, roll a couple of d6. If it exceeds the leadership characteristic or equals of that enemy model, you'll score a victory point. A unit can, if it is resurrected for any reason, being brought back to the battlefield for whatever reason, then die again, could then contribute those same victory points a second time. Assuming you roll the 2d6 and it equals their leadership and all that good stuff. I don't think that's going to happen in our game too much, but just models running away will give us a lot of victory points. And the last one is Shadow Operations, Despoilers of Reality. This will be Chaos Demon infantry units doing this action. 1 or more can do this action. You start it at the end of your movement phase, and it will complete at the end of your next command phase. This one is kind of hard, but it awards a lot of victory points. You have to perform the action on an objective marker that is not in your deployment zone that you control. Once it's completed, it is said to be corrupted, and then you'll score 4 victory points each time a unit from your army completes this action. And once it's corrupted, you cannot do it again. So like in this game, you could get, well, technically 20 victory points because there's 5 objectives not in your deployment zone. But even if you just do the 2 nearby, that's 8 victory points. That's really it. Both Ian and myself will be trying to accomplish those objectives. All around pretty easy for the demons, especially with the way their new rules work. The thing I wanted to show off is this guy's a little tucked away. He might not, like Luka, they're not coherent. That guy is the triangle. And there, sorry guys, he was tucked away in the bushes. That's everything said and done, my man. So you ready for this roll? Let's see who goes first.
I am.
Do you want to go first or second?
I want to go second, 100%.
That's fair. I got a 6. Oh, reroll.
Hey.
Nice. I like to go first or second. I don't really care either way. I got a 1. Ooh, turn 1 for Slaanesh.
Dang.
Nice. I'll take it. Taking a look at this, we both spent a couple command points on relics and warlord traits. We're going to both go up to 5. Actually, not true. I will go up to 5 because I control an objective in no man's land. This is what the Nurglings did. They have concealed deployment equivalent. They're called Mischief Makers. And unable to deploy on any of the... Close. You can deploy close to the objectives, but not quite on them. This guy's supposed to be a little bit back there.
Yep.
So you do get denied 1. Now also, at the start of every battle round, we're both going to be rolling for Warp Storm points because they brought the Warp Storm table back, but not as a veteran might remember. It's a lot more in your control as a demon player. For anyone who's curious, this used to be their shooting phase. It used to be the most random. I thought it was one of the coolest mechanics in the game. It was my one biggest appeal to demons. I'm happy they brought it back because now they have a little bit of flavor with the Warp Storm table. But it could be anywhere from like your guys get better invulnerable saves to you guys lose your invulnerable saves a little bit, or you'll do. I've seen some armies, like I remember one game back in 7th edition, it was Astra Militarum, they lost on turn 1 because they got Rock Glorious Rod, and then it was like 6s were rolled on everything failed leadership checks and ran away, and then all that was left, all that was left with a couple of tanks. Obviously that doesn't make for the most engaging gameplay ever, so they got rid of it, and now they brought back something a little bit more in control for the demon player. So we're both gonna roll 8d6. For every 4+, you get a Warp Storm point. I got 3d6, 3 4-ups, and you got also 3 4-ups. Yep. So we both have 3 Warp Storm points. There's a list of things we can use these points on. I will explain them when they come up. They are very specific when they can be used. And because I have a Nurgle detachment, I have access to the Nurgle ones. And because Ian has the Slaanesh detachment, he has access to the Slaanesh ones, in addition to the neutral ones. You could have a detachment of Nurgle, Slaanesh, Khorne, or maybe you want Tzeentch instead. Then you have access to all of those 3, but typically in match play you can only have the 3 detachments, so unless you're playing something else or your friends allow it, you can't have all 4. On to actual command phase things. For the Slaanesh side, the Keepers don't do anything. They have a reroll hit rolls of 1 for core, yep. But the Torment Bringers, the Heralds, they have a rule. You got that one there, I think it's called Torment Bringer, and that one over there. They pick a core unit within 6, yep, and they get +1 to hit.
That one.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah. This is like generally very easy to do there, and that should be about it. So we're going to go on a movement, and we're going to remember, for everyone watching, Ian wants to he's already got this table quarter covered and that table quarter covered for 2 points. He should try and get something within 6 in the middle for another point, and if things are fast enough, he can get into my table quarter for extra points as well, but then he's really committing to my side of the battlefield. So we're going to come back to this and show you where it all ends up moving and what Ian wants to commit to here. All right. The Slaanesh demons have moved forward, as we can see here. Nothing really advanced other than the unit in the middle to get closer to the middle. Nothing is wholly within 6 of the middle yet, though that Exalted Chariot with the Torment Bringer could make it there on a weirdly good charge, I believe is the case. Now, the other thing to note is that this game could be very volatile between Ian and myself, between our forces here, because it could be boom, crash, hold, nothing dies, really, and then boom, they're all dead. Or 40 attacks for a squad of 10 could come in and boom, all dead, annihilate everything. I don't know what's going to actually happen, though that's just fair warning in the beginning. I have no idea what's going to happen here. Exactly. It's just, these guys seem really durable for their points. They seem pretty killy for their points, so we'll find out. That's effectively it for the movement. We do have the psychic phase. We're going to go into details about who has what psychic powers and when and how they'll be casting them. There is a really cool Warp Storm effect. It's like Dark Whispers or Malicious Whispers. I'm not going to use it here because it's not close enough. But for certain casters, I'd like to throw a couple powers like Shalaxi Hellbane or Keeper Secrets. Yeah. Any roll of a doubles counts as a peril, which can be kind of cool. Yeah. And it's to any Psyker within 12. So like say there's like 3 Psykers near like my Nurglings, for example. Yep. There's 1 Psyker there, but not more than the 1. There could be like little whispers from the Nurglings, and then every doubles. That's only, I think, like, what is that, 2 Warp Storm points? Yep, just 2. Yeah, not a bad one to use, but that means I use up all the Warp Storm points before my turn, which isn't ideal. But something fun to do. It's called Insidious Whispers. You pick one of your units, and anytime a Psyker casts a power within 12 of them, on any doubles, it's a peril. That's especially good if they're really low on health. That'll definitely be a big gotcha for a lot of plays in the future. But I always advise not to do that kind of stuff. Let your opponent know what's coming. Also, forgot to note that this unit of Demonettes do not advance. They're going to be performing the Despoil action on this objective. It's not in Ian's territory or deployment zone, and those Demonettes are going to do the same. So that'll be completed at the end of his following command phase, where that objective will be said to be corrupted, and then you gain 4 victory points for every objective you corrupt. As for the spoilers of reality. I was curious about this one earlier, if anyone's curious, because we're both corrupting objectives. It says you can only corrupt an objective that's not been corrupted by your army. So this does work on demons, because they corrupted for Slaanesh, and I can go up there and corrupt it for Nurgle, and it's double corrupted. just as an example. All right, onto this Torment Bringer on Exalted Chariot first. We'll be casting Delightful Agonies, which is essentially the same as it was before.
On a 7.
That is a 7. Now, it does give a 5-up to ignore wounds and mortal wounds, except it has been, so it's been buffed in that regard, but kind of nerfed also because it can only target core. So I think the chariots are core if they're not character, but it can't target keepers with it anymore, and there's no big 30 bricks of demoness to put it on anymore. So, but that unit there will have a 5-up board way to ignore damage, shrug wounds off. If anyone's curious what core is, double checking. The vehicles aren't the chariots, but the fiends, seekers, and demonettes are core. So they can all benefit from Delightful Agonies, and amongst many other core related things. We're going to smite from the
Keeper.
The Keeper Secrets wants to go ahead and smite. All right,
yep.
looking for 5. It'll be hitting my Nurglings out front. That is a 6. Good enough. D3 mortal wounds. That will deal 1. Nothing too fancy on Nurglings there. They just have 4 wounds in total. And that's it. Oh, by the way, I didn't show my Feculent Narwhal. It's right there. It has a, it grows like the Nurgling's Mischief Makers rule outside of 9 of enemy models in their deployment zone, so this was a legal spot for it. It'll help bring Plague Bearers back and do mortal wounds to anything that wants to charge it and try and kill it. And it acts as a locus for my reinforcements to show up as well.
All right, so we're going to throw Symphony of Pain onto the Nurglings from the same keeper. It's on a 7, and until the next psychic phase, they are -1 to hit and wound.
That's pretty good. That is a 6. Nah. That is a damn good spell. It does require visibility, which we have here. That's like its main restriction, I suppose. But I respect that. And onto this Torment Bringer here.
Smite onto the Nurglings as well.
Ooh, that's
So
good.
close.
D3, or yeah, just D3 damage actually. Can it kill my Nurgling base? It will not. Put it down to 2 wounds remaining. From that Torment Bringer, we have Shalaxi Hellbane. Shalaxi will start off with Phantasmagoria. We're gonna go for the Plague Bearers. It's 7 to cast Phantasmagoria. That's a 6.
Nope.
Okay. And then might as well do not Delightful Agonies, Cacophonic Choir. And we got a, I guess reroll that, yeah. I was gonna say if you get a 6, you can get it. That's a 5, okay. No psychic powers, no shooting. We're right on to charging. As for shooting, there's whips on the chariots, but they don't want to be used right now because if we do 2 damage to that Nurgling there, the charge will be more difficult technically, and also pulling the chariot outside of 6 if it charges.
Okay, so we're gonna use my 3 Warp Storm points to put Lightning Speed onto the Hellflare, give him +1 inch move to the in the charge phase.
Yep. So +1 to its charge roll. This is 3 Warp Storm points, Slaanesh only, and you could also make it get an extra advance. This is like guarantees, and you need that 2-up advance.
Yep.
You don't want to roll the 1, so you just give it +1 to your advance rolls.
100%.
In this case, it needs a 10-inch charge, modified to a 9. And survey says
Nope.
3. Okay. Would you like to use a command point?
No.
Fair. All right, that's 3 Warp Storm points. Okay, well, with that charge done, we're on to this Torment Bringer on Exalted Chariot into my Nurglings. Charging. All right, so that was a 4. That's going to be a fail because of the difficult ground. Ian's going to spend a command point going down to 3 to re-roll that. Okay, 5 should make it.
That should do it.
This model is not very well kitted out to fight underneath that floating rock there in the chains, but it does stay wholly within 6 of the objective on that charge there, and legally charges. That being the only charge, it does have bonuses now that it did charge because it's a chariot after all. It will roll, I believe, is it 4 dice or 5 dice for mortal wounds? It does 4 dice against every unit it gets into engagement range with. 5+ will be a mortal wound. It's 1 mortal wound to the Nurglings, and then it also gets an extra 2 attacks on the Herald. I see. It goes up to 10 attacks with the Ravaging Claw, so that kind of counts all of the demonettes on there, including the Torment Bringer. So, let's see what that does. Nurglings are -1 to hit, because they're mischievous, so it's hitting on 3s here.
Hitting on 3s.
Matter for a couple. 3s to wound my T3 Nurglings. Boop. And the fun thing, oh, beautiful. The fun thing about this game is neither of our ATs matter at all because we got those new fancy demonic saves. So the one thing that people are confused about with demonic saves, not that it's too confusing, it is a save characteristic like any other unit has a save characteristic. It cannot be modified higher or lower than what its stats are. The first one, I believe, is the melee one, and the second one is the shooting one. Nurglings have bad. They're like 6'5". Yep. But people are curious about like what that means against invulnerable saves. Demons actually don't have invulnerable saving throws as rules, because there are certain weapons in the game that ignore invulnerable saving throws that will not come into effect against them because they just have a regular like armor saving throw essentially that cannot be modified up or down. I believe Nurglings are a 6-up save in melee. Definitely not a 2 or a 4. They have a 6-up in melee, a 5 against shooting. So that's 2 damage each. That's going to kill one and wound another. Now the Seekers that pull the chariot have 8 attacks with their tongues. They have a new Malefic rule that pretty much just saves Games Workshop Inc. by saying that these hit on 3s because of the negative 1 to hit. By saying like, oh, these are the extra attacks you get with these parts. You know, when something says make 8 extra attacks with this weapon, but no more attacks we put into it than 8, sort of thing. What strength are they?
4.
All right, so I got 2 wounds left on the middle Nurgling, and I make 1 save. It takes 2 and dies, and the last Nurgling has 3 wounds left. Okay, it's a relatively cheap little disruption unit. I think they're 60 points, 20 points a model, but they're kind of thick, and they have that concealed deployment equivalent. There's no point in consolidating because you'll pull yourself outside of 6 in the middle of the objective there. I owe you morale. Now there is I think demonic terror. All demons have a little aura, 6-inch aura of -1 to leadership characteristics. Nurglings are leadership 6, reduced down to 5, and I lost 2 little friends. They're okay though. A 4 if they would have ran, which would have been a victory point for the demons. Slaanesh, naturally. Now for scoring, this action will be completed at the end of Ian's command phase. We don't score primary objective holding until turn 2, but you are in this table quarter, you are in the other table quarter, and you're wholly within 6 in the middle. That's 3 victory points. And then nothing was killed for the other part of the primary. We can kill up to 3 units a turn to get victory points. Actually per battle round. So if I throw those Nurglings away, then I guess they could die and give Ian victory points there. Again, we're fighting in who knows what plane of existence this is. This fight is like so unimportant and like maybe not. Maybe I'm like selling it shorter than what it is, but I can't imagine the endless game that the demons are all fighting amongst each other matters to any means at all.
For a hot second, Slaanesh becomes ascendant.
That's true. Yeah, Slaanesh is trying to become ascendant. Maybe Nurgle's already ascendant. We're defending it.
Who knows?
Who knows? But I do know we're on to my turn 1. I go up to 6 command points, and Ian's at 4 because he does hold an objective in No Man's Land now. I still have 3 of my Warp Storm points. Great Unclean One's relic is the Endless Gift. He heals a wound. Ooh, he's already at full health. Next turn he'll heal 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. That only triggers in my command phase though. A Sloppity Bio Piper in the command phase will use this Jolly Gut Pipes. I picked a Nurgling unit, Plague Bearer Core, and something else. Maybe Great Unclean One. I get to add 1 to its movement characteristic. I'm just going to choose these Plague Bearers here. They go to movement 6. They're on slow terrain, so it'll help them out. And the Scrivener will choose these Plague Bearers here, and we're going to use the ability to keep counting, meet your quota. They get +1 to hit, and they gain OBSEC. If they already have OBSEC, they count as double the amount of models. And that's about it. Otherwise, the Great Unclean One, he's got the Doomsday Bell. I can pick a Plague Bearer unit and return a model to it, so I can bring a drone back at full health. Or, if they're infantry, which is the Plague Bearers there, I get to bring D3 of them back. But none are hurt, so don't have to worry about it. This should be about it for the command phase, so I'm just going to move everything and show you where it ends up. I'm just going to be aggressive with the Great Unclean One and see where that kind of gets me. They're going to move, to generalize my turn, they're moving forward onto the objective to corrupt it. The other Plague Bearers are going to do the same, no advancing. And then we are going to just move this guy. He moves 7. We're probably going to use Otherworldly Tread, which is 2 Warp Storm points to make him ignore the difficult ground he's in. You can do it in the movement phase or the charge phase. And then, we're going to move forward. We're just going to start fighting and scrapping. There we go, everything moved. So they moved forward to here. They weren't slowed down. The bugs, the drones flew to there. Great Unclean One moved forward 7 because of his tread, Otherworldly Tread. So I have 1 Warp Storm point left. That Beast Nurgle moved forward. That one advanced. Didn't go the full advance, but stayed right there. And then our Plague Bearer line, who moved 6, because of the +1 to their move with the Biopiper. Just walked 4 inches onto the objective. Nurglings backed off a little bit. The drones and the Beast of Nurgle kind of came forward. These Plague Bearers stayed back here to screen. Because it will be Ian's turn 2 next. He does have a Keeper of Secrets as well as some Demonettes in reserve. Now we are going to go on to the shooting phase, which I do have a little bit of shots. Great Unclean One's going to start swinging the Plague Flail around and try and do some damage to this Health Layer here. It's Assault D6, only 6-inch range, maybe 7-inch range, but it's +3, I believe. That's a not flat die. That's kind of wild, actually. There we go, 8 shots. The Plague Flail is only going to hit on 4s as the Health Layer is pretty quick as it moves around the battlefield. So it did dodge one of the attacks because of its speed. 3s to wound, and 2 demon saves. It's got a 4-up in both phases. You fail 1, it's 2 damage. Okay, and 5 wounds left. Boop, boop, sorry, there it is. That's all I really got that I care about for shooting. The Sloppity Bilepiper has a good shooting attack for a stratagem, but it's only something within 6 inches, and it's for bigger units, so that'll be useful later on. We're going to go right on to charging, and we're going to start with the Great Unclean One and see what the big boy gets. He's going to roll up a 7, because Nurgle loves it. You know what? He's got an extra attack that I wasn't aware of. He's got Putrid Vomit. He's like Hellfire Breath from he's going to make the charge. That Putrid Vomit's going to go over here, though. It'll be D6 automatic hits. 6. Hey. As he throws up all over the demonettes. 3s to wound. They love it. Ooh, that's 5 demonic saves. They got 5 up saves here. They make 2. I keep forgetting they have a 4-up. The second save is the shooting save. So they had a 4-up. Only 1 demon that dies, so that they're going to be that one. That makes sense. All right, and then the charge will go. I wonder. Oh, there we go. Yep. Now I got to double check that. All right, my dummy self there should have measured that beforehand. Luckily I got the camera, and he had moved to that position beforehand, and that is definitely within the 5 because of the -2 on the 7. So we're still good to make it in with Big Boy here, and then we're gonna use the new Nurgle stratagem, Impact Hits. He's got a lot of momentum behind that charge. Now I'm gonna use a command point here on Crushing Bulk. This seems like it's only really useful for like a big unit of Beasts of Nurgle, or Plague Drones, or a single Great Unclean. Probably only Great Unclean ones. I roll a d6 and add 3 to it if it's a Great Unclean one. So I rolled a 7. If you roll a 6, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. If you roll a 9, it's D3 plus 3. So a Great Unclean one can do it on a 6, and does mortal wounds on a 4, essentially. So it'll deal 1 mortal wound. I only do that because his hitting power isn't like super great, so I kind of wanted as much help as I could get. Next, we're going to charge with the flies. Now they have fly, they don't care about the difficult terrain. Into these demonettes here will be the main target. I probably need about that. That's how they're going to charge in. Another big change for Slaanesh demons is they don't get to fight first all the time either. It's a warp storm thing. Okay, so that's it for that charge. This charge, I'm not charging anywhere else. I'm going to be a little more passive over on that side of the battlefield. And then I think we're done. We're going to fight first with these drones because the Great Unclean one should be fine to not have to. Oh, and I forgot to cast Leggy Powers. I wasn't going to do anything. There was. He's got 2 powers. It's Nurgle's Rot and Virulent Blessing is what he knows. So Virulent Blessing is you choose a core unit and they get extra damage on their attack. So it's either Plague Bearers or the drones. Maybe the Beast of Nurgle in this case. I would have put it on the drones. Doesn't change anything. 6, you might as well try and stop it. You got more. It's a 6 to cast. You have more than enough Psychers to deny. And looking for not that. Nope. Okay, so they'll get extra damage, and then he would have. The other one is an AOE to enemies nearby him. So he's gonna just do the smite instead. Fails. That's easy. Just +1 damage to melee weapons. Not going to matter at all for demonettes, and I didn't declare the chariot as a target, so all around worth. But that'll mean more defensive for my next turn coming up, which was going to go right into them fighting. They should have a pretty good assortment of attacks. They're piling in. We're going to have you go base there, and you're going to go and base those 2. That guy already charged into base contact. To do the Plague Swords, separate, because if they hit on a 6, they wound. It didn't actually do any of that, so that's fine. And no rerolls for the Great Unclean one nearby. And then we have 18 remaining attacks from all the malefic weapons on the actual Rot Fly. I am able to do these all at the same time, even though they have different strengths and damage. We're just fighting demonettes, and they're demonic, so the save is all the same. These are 3s to hit, and I do get to reroll 1s because they're core and they're near a Great Unclean one. And the reroll, boom, boom. These are all 3s to wound. There's no Herald nearby for rerolling rerolls 1, so these are just right to your demonic save of 5 up. That's a fail. Boom, boom, boom. So that's 5. That's 9 saves. All right, die. I'm gonna try something. Hey, not bad. That's a good roll.
That's not bad.
5 die. Boom, boom. This is the unit I have with no command, so I just have the champion. So I don't get the. Oh, I guess the command doesn't matter against the demonettes. Boop.
Yep.
Boom. So we got 4 left over there.
Yep.
And then I'll act to consolidate. Why not? Let's just. No, we're gonna hang out here. I'd rather not take the extra damage back. They do have a lot of attacks. We're just gonna hang out here. And then the Great Unclean One can go to try and do some damage. Now, he's not really kidding. He's more here to support the core things nearby. But he can get stuck in there and do mortal wounds. He doesn't have the Bile Sword or anything. Only -1 to hit because of from ranged attacks. We hit on 2s with our Doomsday Bell. Okay, no rerolls on that guy. And these are strength 7 up to strength 8. So these wound on, well, definitely 3s. I have to look at the health layer. Just 3 wounding hits. You have 3 4-up saves that are all 2 damage each. All right, he's dead. He just gets absolutely crushed by the bell and utterly destroyed. We are going to consolidate a few inches forward to about there. Maybe I was turning around to face the Keeper's Secrets. Now we get to have an exalted fight. That's Shalaxi. Woo! Shalaxi gets to reroll hit and rules against characters. I'm kind of testing the waters here. Like if I throw the Keeper away into Shalaxi, that's lesson learned, I suppose. She's very strong against characters, so we'll see what this means for me. Staying on the objective, not going as far forward. That's it for my turn. We do have a morale check on these demonettes. That should be about it, and then we'll check my scoring, because anyone that runs away I get victory points for. So yeah, their leadership is reduced by 1 because demons. The instrument would increase it by 1, but that got pulled. But we have the icon still, which makes it so combat attrition can't be modified. Single D6. That is definitely them running. 1 model's going to run, then we're going to roll 3 more dice, and then every 1 will be an additional model dying. It's a good thing. The icon's good here. Well, you're good there, because they would have been, because of the demonic rule, they would have been running on 1s, 2s, and 3s because they're under half strength. But only 1 more run, so just 1 model left. 1's going to run initially, and then 1 more is going to run. So we'll have the, I assume, the banner and the Alluress left. But that is 2 victory points for Nourishing Terror. So 2 points for the models fleeing there. I'm in this table quarter and that table quarter, not in the middle, and not in these ones. So I only get 2 for the Reality Rebels, as opposed to the 3 that Ian got. But I did get 2 points for Nurturing Terror. And then these guys are still performing the actions in the back there to try and make that a thing. We're done our turn. We're on to battle round 2, where we get to roll for new Warp Storm points. Maybe we'll roll more than 3 this time. We lose all the ones we had. I only had 1, but I lose it. I don't have any ways to keep it. There are ways to keep them. Whoa. Ooh, that's not bad. You got 6. Whoa. All right, I'm going to roll for mine. So you get 6, and I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, so I'll be on the left here. I got 4 points, Warp Storm points, 6 command points, and Ian and Slaanesh will have 6 Warp Storm points, and 5 command points. All right, what's the Tormentor targets from these 2 heralds?
We'll do these 2 units again, so plus 2.
Plus 1 hit on both of them, very good.
Yep.
Other than that, though, we got our command points already. Pretty much at the end of the command phase. If we figure something else out, we'll do that. But that means you finish corrupting this objective, and you finish corrupting that objective. So that's going to be 8 victory points for Demons of Slaanesh at the end of this, no matter what. But on top of that, you hold 3 objectives to my 3, so you'll gain 8 points for the primary there as well. Well, with that, we're going to go on a movement. Generally, they're coming up this way. Those units are coming back onto the objective. Shalaxi is going to fight this guy probably. I'm going to move these units forward to start scrapping, and then we have a Keeper's Secrets and more Demonettes in reserve. But we'll put those on the table after we're done showing where everything ends up moving. So we'll be back in a second. Okay, so some of the movement, like I said, the 2 Demonettes went back there. These ones wrapped up and around this way. Shalaxi advanced, moved forward. The Demonettes are staying wholly within 6 in the middle for extra victory points. And then the Exalted Chariot with the Tormentor moving right up towards all the enemies here. And then the other Exalted Chariot moving forward with the Fast Keeper going towards the tree.
Not moving so fast.
Yeah, just kind of going a little bit forward there. These Demonettes staying back here on this objective. The Demonettes back here exploded out to screen that corner and screen as much as over here as they could. Whereas the
Chariot.
The Chariot.
Torment Bringer Chariot.
That's the Torment Bringer on the Secret Chariot. And then for reinforcements, this Keeper's Secrets is going to show up right there because Shalaxi Hellbane is a Locus of Chaos. She's got the right keyword.
Yep.
You could, as long as you share an allegiance with that Locus, you could show up wholly within 6 of that Locus and more than 6 away from enemies. In this case, just kind of behind Shalaxi, which doesn't really change anything up, like just showing off the rule because nothing could shoot it off the table anyway, so it didn't need to hide. But summons another Keeper to the battlefield. Summons, it's paid for already, just a reinforcement unit. To the Psychic phase now. I think I might use Insidious Whispers for 2 command points.
Yep.
To make it so you take mortal wounds on any doubles. I would love to get that Psyker in range, but the other Torment Bringer's way over there. I don't think I have anything that's within 12 of all 3 of these Psychers. I'm going to use 2 of my 4 Warp Storm points on Insidious Whispers. So all of my Legion Demonica units gain an aura that says any enemy Psyker within 12 perils on any doubles. So my whole, any Psyker now except for the Seeker back there. I thought it was, I picked one of mine, but it's the entire army gets that aura.
That's a great power.
That's awesome, yeah. Especially against like Thousand Suns or Grey Knights or something. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna start this off with Shalaxi. What's the first power?
We can't do the leadership thing messing around because I got too close to the Great Unclean One, so I can't mess around with the Rot Flies, so we'll just throw a classic.
Oh, it's the nearest.
For Cacophonic Choir, it's the closest enemy unit, and I can't really...
Yeah, he's leadership 10.
So I'm not going to have a whole lot of success with that. So we'll just throw a classic smite.
One classic smite coming right up. That's not a doubles. That's D6 mortal wounds.
That's a deluxe smite.
All right, roll it up. Okay, it's 1. It's 1. He's got 21 wounds remaining. All right, and then Ian's going to opt to not cast another power with Shalaxi out of fear of taking mortal wounds. Because Phantasmagoria is not a big guarantee to do extra damage.
No, definitely not.
We're going to go on to the Tormentor on the Exalted Chariot here.
We're gonna just throw Delightful Agonies on to... Oh, that's a core units. Ah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Keepers can't get the 5-up board anymore. They're very, very soft.
Smite.
Smite! All right, smite it is. Don't roll doubles. Or do roll doubles. You know what? No doubles. But it actually fails as well.
5, yeah.
The Keeper's Secrets that know Symphony of Pain will target the Plague Bearers with it. All right, doubles! Or failed power. We're over here now. We're going to do smite for the second power. This needs a 7 to cast.
Yep.
And that's a 6. Okay, it failed. And all we have left is the new keeper who popped up. This is the one with extra attacks in the Aegis. By extra attacks, I mean the mark of excess.
Yep. Okay, we're going to do the Pavane of Slaanesh onto the Rot Flies. And it's just a... charge of 6 and roll 1d6 for each unit model in the unit. Yeah. Model in the unit.
3 dice in this case.
And 5 ups is a mortal wound.
Better horde killer, but not many other options right now. Looking for a 6. Oh, that's a double peril.
Yeah.
Not that that matters. It's just you take D3, you take 1 mortal wound.
Okay.
The Aegis does now is it used to give a 6-up ward before, but now well, not all. It increases the range save to a 4 from a 5-up, which is nice. That's the melee save, I believe it increases.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Well, it pretty much makes it a 4-up instead of a 5-up 4-up. Looking for an 8 on a smite.
Nope.
No, it's always off by 1, dude. We have 20 wounds now. 19 wounds remaining.
Down
for
to
that
19, yep.
This cast over here. And after that, we do have a little bit of shooting here. We have some of the whips,
of the whips.
Lots of whips. That's pretty much what the shooting is.
It's all whips.
Yeah, Shalaxi's going to whip the Rot Flies here.
All right, hitting on 2s.
Canyon Narrow.
Wounding on 4s.
That's a wound. Do we make our weird demon save? Nope. We're going to put that on... You have 3 wounds left because you're the champion.
Into the...
To the Exalted Torment Bringer?
Yep.
This is into the Plague Bearers?
Into the Plague Bearers. Hitting on 3s.
Plague Bearers aren't negative on hit no more. No rerolls there, and these are T5.
Okay, 5 wound.
That's a wound. I have a 4-up save against that. Oh, that's a 1. How much damage?
Just 1.
All right, 1 down. 1. They have 2 wounds each. Really sending it home over here. Here we go. All right. And the Exalted Chariot is going to whoosh the tree because it's like it's just a thing that exists. It's a thing to be attacked. No negatives to hit it, really.
Whip that tree.
A couple misses. Tree's toughness 7, I believe.
Yep, 5s.
I was going to say, doesn't matter. Definitely not 4s. Yeah. I make neither save. 1 damage each. Well, la-di-da, if this thing isn't fancy, it's got a 3-up demonic save against range attacks, a 4-up in melee. It's pretty thick. That's actually really hard to deal with in a lot of cases. Meltas, las cannons, it's got 3-up save all day against that.
Hell yeah.
And it's got 9 wounds. Well, down to 8 now. That thing is negative on the hit, and so are my other guys nearby. I gotta remember that, but that's okay. They're within 6 to be healed by it. I don't think any damage I took, I'll pretend like it didn't matter.
Yep.
I don't think it really did. The tree's so good for Nurgle. I love it. I would actually run a couple. I'd actually run a couple of those bad boys for a couple flanks. They're pretty cool.
I love it.
I kind of feel like we're playing AOS in a weird way. Like we're playing like not really 40k. Technically, we're playing This feels weird, just only because it's demon on demon. So a lot of these rules are very similar to Age of Sigmar. So it's very androgynous.
Yeah.
like
a little bit.
This game we're playing. Onto the charge phase, the Torment Bringer on the Exalted Chariot will declare charge against the Plague Bears and the Nurglings. I will warn you that my happy doggies here do have a 6-inch heroic intervention, so it's gonna be hard to avoid that.
Fair enough.
You'll get to fight it if I heroic intervene. So
Okay.
it's all good. Rolling it up, no negatives. You're gonna roll a 7. That is so much higher than what Ian's been rolling all game. All right, just pushing into the Plague Bears and the Nurglings there. And now we have to resolve some impact hit. I'm gonna roll 4 dice for every unit in engagement range. Nurglings first. The Nurglings suffer 3 when you kill them.
Yes.
That's a victory point for primary, and then roll for the Plague Bears as well. That's a mortal wound. That means this guy is dead, and so are those Nurglings. Okay, nice. I love it. And an extra 2 attacks for the chariot itself. I'm going to charge the Keeper Secrets into the Feculent Gnarlmaw.
He's in.
Good enough. You can go wherever you want. You can go up and around to push on the objective more, but then I guess that exposes you more to my stuff too. Up to you. Yeah. I can slow you down a little bit there, but that's okay. You only have to move a few inches there. We're gonna beat up a tree. Would you like to charge anywhere else?
Yes.
Over on that side, I guess. Or is it mostly over here you're looking?
It's mostly over there.
All right, fair. Do the Hellbane into Great Unclean One.
Yes, sir.
His Overwatch isn't. He's got a flamer. I don't know if that's like worth doing though.
It's your
like
call.
His nasty breath attack. I'm gonna hold.
Okay.
You can't fail, but we're gonna roll, I guess, anyways, to see if anything weird happens.
It's in.
10. All right, so we got Shalaxi into him, and we have these demonettes here who would love to charge into my bugs. 4. Good enough. And they're gonna charge in there. Coming over here, this is the keeper that charged a tree earlier. This Hellflare is just going to charge the tree as well.
Yep.
Keep the idea is the Hellflare to keep this area locked down, so I can't sneak past it, and I have to go up and around fight this way, or I mean go through the chariot. I guess
that's the idea.
The Pestilent Miasma on my Great Unclean One will trigger now. Every unit within engagement range will take a mortal wound on a 2-up. Just Shalaxi. It's 1 mortal wound. 19 wounds left on. I assume 19 wounds left on them. Actually, that 20 wounds remaining from the 21 that Shalaxi starts with. Okay. I'm trying to do some damage. That's only engagement range too. It's not like 6 inches or anything. It was that or the -1 to hit, but I don't think the -1 to hit would matter too much because Shalaxi has rerolls in a lot of cases, and so many things have +1 to hit. I think overall the -1 to hit is probably much better. But this one could be cool because you could like charge into 2 or 3 units and do a lot of extra mortal wounds. He doesn't do a lot of damage built into him, but that mortal wound can kind of equate him while he supports these things essentially. Scratch that. Ian just informed me he's got 22 wounds. There you go. 21 wounds. My bad. Right. Ian is going to opt to go first with the... Now, there is a Warp Storm that he can use to make it so all his stuff fights first, but that doesn't matter because I can still counteroffensive. That's much better on my turn when I charge in defensively to make your whole army fight first. Then you go back to the old Slaanesh rules. That costs 4 points of his 6, but he'll be using that later. These demonettes are 10 strong still. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 41 attacks.
Yep. Do that.
Going to spend a command point on Rapturous Standard, so every kind of demon unit has a banner, or instruments, one of the two. I think it's the banner one.
It's the banner, yeah.
Let them reroll all hit rolls. So they're hitting on 3s, probably rerolling everything with their 41 attacks. Hitting on 3. I know I can make it -1 to hit, but I don't think I want to do that here. I think I want to save this for the -1 to hit for the Great Unclean One. It might matter a little bit more there. All right, these are 3s to hit with full rerolls for the standard. And the reroll for the standard, okay, only 1 miss. That's 19 hits. These are 5s to wound. Okay, we are high toughness, so we're hoping you roll only an average amount of 5s here. So about 6-ish.
Okay. 4.
All right, when I ask for average, Ian rolls 4 instead of 6 or 7. We have 21 attacks from the second volley because the Alluress has the 5th attack over the 4. 3s to hit, rerolling everything. Then the reroll. Moving the hits out of the way. Hey, 21 hits. Alrighty.
Okay.
Much better that time. Much closer to average, if not balancing out from the first roll. 11 wounding hits. I believe these guys have a 5-up demon save. I will just roll it.
Okay.
I'll just roll really well. I'm going to make sure it's not 4. I know I take 3 damage so far. I'm going to make sure it's not 4. Yeah, so I take 5 damage there, which means 3 wounds kill the one guy. And then this guy's brought down to 3 wounds from those demonettes. I'm going to see what I can do to Shalaxi here. I'm going to use 2 command points for counteroffensive. I'll go down to 4 and swing at her. Though they're -1 to hit because of some sort of rule, some visage or some beautifying thing or some sort of glamorous or a beguiling effect. Doomsday Bell will be 3s to hit because of the -1. Well, I'll have all of you know it didn't matter. And these are 4s to wound because of the cloak is -1. So 2 wounding hits so far. Got 2 4-ups. These are 2 damage each. So that's 4 damage so far. The Nurglings are 7 attacks. I probably shouldn't have interrupted here, but that I knew. I forgot I only have the bell. He's got a lot more range attacks that he can use in melee because he's a monster. No wounds there, which brings Shalaxi down to 17. And Shalaxi Hellbane gets to go. Or you can go with the Chariot, or anything over there. It doesn't really matter, just because
Yep.
I have no counteroffensive. Do you want to do this one last or next?
We'll do that next.
Nice. I'll spend 2 command points here to swarming flies will burst out from his corpulent mass and make him a little bit harder to hit. -1 to hit. I have 2 command points left. I'm just trying out like a bunch of different things. I probably shouldn't counteroffensive, but I still have a lot of command points left to do my other things. The goal of this battle report is to show off as much as I possibly can. Hopefully he lives. He isn't -1 damage in melee and -1 to hit. Unfortunately, Shalaxi is one of the best character killers in the game. Reroll all hit rolls and wound rolls because of the Warlord trait. 6 attacks with Soul Piercer, the spear. These are hitting on 3s. Rerolling, that's 2 hits. You get to reroll everything though. So if there's any 2s here, then my 2 CP was worth. No, it didn't matter. Okay.
All right.
I guess it did matter because it forced a couple of rerolls there. And now these are 3s to wound because of strength 12. I am defense toughness 9, but you get to reroll. They all wound. My great unclean one? Oh, that's not too bad. He fails 1 of them. These are D3 plus 3 damage each because it's a character. So these are minimum 4. So that's going to be 3, 6, 9. 9 damage so far, and roll those up. I reduce each of these by 1. So that effectively becomes nothing. This is 1 more damage and 2 more damage. Right, that means I'll live. He's got 9 wounds left, and we have the Schnappen Claws. And the Schnappen Claws hitting on 3s with the reroll. Okay, good. The -1 hits, forcing the reroll at least. Okay, it mattered for 1 of them. And then these are wounding on 5s because I'm T9.
Yep.
With the reroll. 2 rerolls. And no.
Nope.
And no. And I make 1 of them. And then that is normally 3 damage?
Yes.
Or is it? Yes, 3. Reduced to 2. Not bad. 7 wounds remaining on the big guy. And then we go into the Chariot. I forgot to hero intervene with the Beast of Nurgle earlier, so we just did that quickly. The Chariot can figure out all of the attacks. It can attack the Beast of Nurgle if it so desires. Everything is going to attack into the Plague Bearers. There's the Torment Bringer and all the Demonettes on it, hitting on, I think, 2s actually,
yep.
Yeah. And then these are Strength 6.
Oh.
Okay, these are 5s to wound. We have 4 right in the middle there. We got our 5-up demon save. We make 2 of them. That kills 2 Plague Bearers off.
Nope, 1.
Aren't they 2 damage each?
Oh, they are. Oh, they are.
Yeah, these ones are 2. Yeah, because of the Torment Bringer. Pop. All the malefic attacks from the Seekers. 2s. Oh, that's awesome looking roll.
It's awesome looking. Now, I need them to be 6s.
That's
okay.
Okay. Did the 6s do anything in particular, or did 5s work as well?
Yeah, 5s work.
And Demon. That's 2 more dead. You die, and you die. So I got the 5 remaining there. And we have a couple more fights. The Keeper and the Chariot fighting by Feculent and Gnarlmaw. The -1 to hit is from ranged attacks only. It's kind of hard to remember what's melee, what's everything, and what's ranged. With the fancy sword, 6 attacks, 2s. No rerolls here. And strength 6. Oh, no, 9 probably. So.
Yep.
So 3's here to wound. And that's 2. And this bad boy's got a 4-up save. Makes 1 of them, fails the other. That's just 3 damage.
3 damage. Claws.
We got the claws. We got 5 wounds left on the tree.
2s.
Okay, not bad. Strength 6.
Strength 6.
5s. 2 wounds on the tree. Let's make 1 of these to live. I will. And then we might as well do the Secret Chariot.
Yep. Or
the Exalted Secret Chariot. Forgot to do the impact hits from the Chariot. So 4 dice on 4-ups. That'll take some extra mortal wounds. It's 2 more mortal wounds. I think he's dead. I don't think it explodes. But that would have been on the charge. I took the 2 damage. And then the claw would have just taken it out there. So it is destroyed. Womp womp. My poor tree, I love you. And you get to consolidate the Keeper a little bit. And then that Chariot can pile in and consolidate if it wants to. Or it can just stay there.
It'll probably just sort of...
Boop, that works. I think that counts as a unit destroyed for the primary, so that's 2 kills, because the other one was the Nurgling. Now, I get to retaliate. I'm going to start here and work my way down the table. We're going to put all the attacks in the Demonettes. 5 attacks from the Plague Swords. Ooh, I think I cheated a little bit last year. I think I played them hitting on 3s. They actually hit on 4s.
You know.
4s, reroll the 1, because we're near the Great Unclean one. And then the gross parts. 12 attacks from the 2 bugs on 4s, reroll. No 6s out of wound here, and these are all wounding on 3s. No rerolls, so that's going to be 9 saves. Which is about what I got last time with more models, so I'm going to assume I just didn't roll that well.
5s.
The dice corrected it for me, so I kill 6.
Yeah.
So 6 of them. You don't want to lose the instrument. You probably want to keep that one.
Yeah.
Keep the bravery a little bit higher. Where's that banner at?
Technically this one.
Oh, okay, I see. Boop, boop.
Yep.
Leaving the Allures, the banner standing, and the instrument. Great Unclean One's already attacked, so we're going to go to the Beast of Nurgle to see what that guy can do. 6 attacks that hit on 4s. Well, that does 2 mortal wounds, and that's it.
Okay.
Every 6 is 2 mortal wounds instead of the normal damage. And then we'll have you just get a little bit closer up that way, and then these Plague Bearers are going to go ahead and get on there. They're still currently trying to finish this action, which they should be able to do. They're going to attack the Chariot. Use a command point on Plague Banner. If they roll a 6 to wound, it just does a mortal wound. Now these guys hit. These ones do hit on 3s because of the Scrivener helping them out. Oh, that's not bad. That gives me 1 more hit. It's just a great roll. The 6s here don't matter. Your toughness enough to wound on. Oh geez. These rolls don't count. I have to re-roll this, unfortunately, because the 6s to hit auto wound. So that's 4 that wounded from the 6s to hit. And now these wound on 5s, re-rolling 1s, and the 6s are mortal wounds. Okay, so we do a mortal wound and then 4 saves. And 4 ups. 1 mortal plus 1 more, so 2 damage.
2.
Right, not bad. Down
And
8. 8 remaining wounds. Alrighty, that's all she wrote. I'm done my turn. You're done your turn. We got a couple of morales to do. You have to do yours first, and then I'll do mine. In this case, you still have your instrument alive, which increases your bravery back to 7.
Yep.
Because the Allures is alive. Lost 6, so 1d6. That is 8. They are running. Pretty much only on a 1. But then you roll 3 dice, and on 1s you roll because you have a banner, so you don't have to. So 1 more, 2 run. So that'll be the regular one, and then you might as well keep the leadership one. Get rid of that one and keep that one.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's 2 more victory points for me. And then I owe you one of my Plague Bears. Leadership, I lost 5 dudes. That's a 10. They're running. Then I owe you 4 rolls. I'm also only running on 4s. 1s, I mean. So 2 of my guys run as well. I will probably just lose 2 generic guys and keep the command. So that's 2 victory points for Ian and Slaanesh. I'm just going to roll the raw flies. I know they lost a dude. Okay. On a 6, I actually probably would have because they don't have any command. And you are a demon. So, but we're good. Okay, well, that's it for morale there. You are in this table quarter, that table quarter, and the middle. So you'll get 3 points for the rebelling stuff, the territory one. Battlefield supremacy. Yeah. Reality. It is reality that is currently rebelling. Even though they failed a morale check, their action still completes. So we are still good to go. So on my turn coming up, I will complete corrupting these 2 objectives. And we are going to move on to my turn, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not looking. I didn't like that fight. The way 17 to 7. Math ain't looking super hot for me there. But he does get to heal 2 wounds now.
Nice.
On my turn. Turn 2 for Nurgle. 2 command points to 5 command points, and 2 to 6 for the Warp Storm points. In fact, I think I have a pretty cowardly turn planned out here. I like it. My command phase. This guy's going to heal up to 9 because it's battle round 2. Bloop bloop bloop. He's going to wiggle his bell. And he is going to bring one of these plague drones back to life. He either brings D3 of them back or 1 of them back. Yeah, we're gonna bring you back. Raher. Right there is the goal.
Buzz buzz.
Buzz buzz. Anything within 12 there. Only pick 1 unit. That's what the bell's good at doing. As opposed to the sword, which just does more damage. More of a support build on him. That's the model we have, though. Okay, other things in the command phase. Actions are completed. That's a good start. And at the end of the turn, at the end of the command phase, we're going to score those for 8 victory points on the primary, because the same, I hold 2, not more than Ian. Scrivener is going to choose these Plague Bears for the +1 to hit again, and then they count as double their models for OBSEC. And the Bile Piper is going to be +1 to move, +1 to advance and charge, that's fine. That's all good there on that one, I suppose. And that is it for my command phase, I believe, other than scoring. I get my 8 points, like I mentioned. Big old Great Unclean One here is going to giggle a little bit and fall back. He moves 6 currently, so he's only going to move 4.
Run.
You'll be at 17 left. I only moved the 4 because I'm slowed down by the terrain a little bit. And then these plague bears are going to move forward. We're going to keep those drones over there because they just want to beat up these 2 demonette units. He's going to, that's as far as he can go. You still have demonettes in reserve, so I have to keep all of this back here. And then I got to move some stuff on that side of the battlefield. I suppose we just keep all of that in combat? No, these guys are going to... They move 4. We're going to move these guys back because we want the bugs to get in there. We don't want to lose our plague bears. You go there, you're in combat. These guys are going to hang out over here. And then our beasts and our bugs are going to go fight over here. It's not pretty, but we made it work. And then we're going to bring in a couple of units of plague bears that are in reserve. There's too much screening going on back here, so I'm not going to be too finessey about it, even though their bravery is lowered to 7. Ian's deployment zone is there. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to fit a unit of 10 and not be outside of 7 of them. Even though you get to utilize it a little bit better, it won't actually come into play here. So I'm going to put plague bears and plague bears, like pretty much along the line here. Then 2 more, 40 more wounds at T5 show up. So these ones here are just simply outside of 9 of the enemy using the regular rules. However, these ones are wholly in my territory and more than 3 away from enemies. So as you can see, I'm about 6 inches away from the chariot there. I could charge in if I wanted to, but I didn't plan that far ahead, so I blocked myself with my characters and my fallback, which is fine, I guess. It's okay. It doesn't really matter. I don't think I'll need their charge. They can act as a second line somewhere else. We're on to shooting, and we're going to use our last 2 warp storm points for Wave of Sickness and see if we get lucky. This is much like the old Chaos Storm, very similar to the Warp Storm table. I roll for every unit within 12 inches of a Legion Demonica Nurgle unit. On a 6, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. So I'm going to be rolling for this entire front line here. Yep. So we'll start with these here. Nope, the Demonette's back there. Oh, they dodge it. We have Shalaxi. No, and then I'm going to roll for that one just in case. It definitely is within 12 from over here. Oh yeah, we got 12 on that. Nice. So that's D3 mortal wounds on that keeper back there. For 3. Nice. 16 wounds left. The demonettes in the middle do not succumb to the wave of sickness. And then we're going to go to the chariot, I guess. Ooh, it's going to suffer a mortal wound. Okay. And then the keeper of secrets is okay. And then the exalted chariot further away is okay. That one a lot. That one's good fun, especially when you're stuck in everywhere. If I got lucky, I could have boom boom. If like in a roll a 6 for them, kill both of them, and then there's nothing on this objective for Ian's turn. That would have been huge. Well, not really, because they're just on 2.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That would have been cool, though. That's more primary points, so they can't run away, essentially. All right, we are going to move on to actual shooting phase. I know they have a shooting attack, and I forgot it last time. I don't really care about it. It doesn't really matter. The greater and clean one fell back. Doesn't have to worry about shooting. And I think... Oh, I have the bugs over there. They are going to shoot the Exalted Chariot, because I want to try and take it out a little bit. Now, though it is -1 to hit. You know what? I'm going to put those on to the Keeper of Secrets. Screw that chariot. 3d3 shots from the Death's Heads. That's going to be 4. These hit on 4s when targeting the Keeper, and wound on not that. Now we charge. They're going to stay where they are. We are going to charge. I'm only charging the Plague Bearers in to protect the big thick boy for a little bit longer. They're going to go 6, which will make it in as long as I don't go over that. Excellent. And then we have a few charges over here. We're going to do the Beasts of Nurgle that are in the difficult terrain. I'm going to do them first because it's -2 to this roll. They only go 5. We're going to make it before I move over there and move models. I'm going to roll the actual bugs. They're going to move 12. Ooh, interesting. Same target, not double charging. All right, so that's where the Beasts of Nurgle charge in. That one does not want to get the Heroic Intervention range. And then over to the bugs, it's not pretty, but it works. Getting you within ½ an inch, and then getting you within ½ an inch there, and then you as well. It's not pretty because of the terrain, but it's doable. There we go. That's it for charges. Ian's got a hard decision here before we go into the fight phase. And when I mentioned earlier that like Slaanesh lost its overall fight first, it's built into the Warp Storm table. Mesmerizing Dance? Yep. The entire army gets to fight first. Obviously, I get to do one of my charges, then we do a Slaanesh unit, just like the old days. However, there's also a Warp Storm that costs 4. And Ian has 6, so he could do like something else afterwards if he does that one, which none of them are great. They're like whatever minor options. However, the 5 option is the best one that Chaos has access to in a lot of regards. Is Dark Invigoration, and you use this in the morale phase. Every unit that is hurt with wounds on it heals D3. So all the keepers would heal D3. That one's not hurt, but the Exalted Chariots, the Chariots, everything heal D3. And if your units only have a wound characteristic of 1, you add D3 models to the unit. A little bit better for Plague Bearers because they're 2 wounds each, but still, that's like D3 heal, D3 heal, D3 models back over here. That thing heals D3 if it lives. Things like that. Or you can fight burst everywhere. I don't know. I actually don't know what the better option is. Trying to just... Because I think fighting first won't matter here because that's just 2 demonettes fighting. It'll help that chariot out a little bit, but no matter what, I'm attacking here first. So I think I would go with Dark Invigoration, knowing what I'm going to go with. Because...
See, it's the D3 that's throwing me for the loop there. If I knew I was going to get 3 of those Daemonettes back, that'd probably swing it in the favor there. But if I'm only going to get 1 back... being able to fight first with Shalaxi is going to be real helpful in this situation.
No matter what, I would fight first here. That's the one important one. You just realized, because we're in a prolonged combat, you get to fight first here anyways, before they fight, because I didn't charge with them. The only place that matters are on these 2 fights. So if you use it, and I get to dictate what the first fight is, and I would fight first here. It's not going to kill Shalaxi, but it's going to hurt Shalaxi a little bit. So I would probably just save it for Dark Invigoration.
Yeah, I think so, with that one.
And then that means you'll have 1 left over, but that's okay, because Dark Invigoration is really powerful. So I'm going to fight first here. I'm going to use Plague Banner for a command point, so that if I roll a 6 to wound, it's a mortal wound. Actually, maybe in addition to, I got to double check that. I know I said no earlier on that one, but that guy's not supposed to be in base contact. He is going to go up and around, just so you can get in Mr. Champion, and you'll go over there, because you're getting closer. And then those were in base contact because they didn't want to get into combat or the terrain there. That'll be enough to get you within half an inch. You can fight from there, you can fight from there, and you, my friend... Oh, I guess you can pile into the terrain now. It doesn't really matter. And you, my friend, can fight from there. It's 21 attacks against Shalaxi. She's -1 to hit and -1 to wound. So here's the first hit. I reroll 1s. I'm just looking for 6s. I get the 11th attack, just in case. So these actually hit. Do they wound? No. And then the other 10, I want 6s, so that's 2 wounds, and that's it. 4 ups. Okay, 2 damage, down to 15. And then, because I charged over here, I'll go with the little Beast of Nurgle first. And then we're just gonna pile you in a wee bit to fight from over here. 12 attacks between the 2 of them, hitting on 4s, and they're not core, so I don't have to worry about it. So that's 4 mortal wounds. I believe wounding on... Well, how about those 3? So you have 4 mortal wounds and 3 saves. And these should be 4 ups. Oh, nice.
Hey.
Okay, very good. So I only do 4 damage. Wounds left, and then the bugs fight. The Plague Bearers first on 4s. That wounds. And then 2 more. So that's 3 saves so far. 6 attacks with the foul mouth parts. These are strength 5. We have 2 misses. That's 2 more wounds, so that's a total of 5 wounds. And then the Prehensile Proboscis. Also forced to hit. Nice. Good job, guys. 5s to wound. And they are core, so I roll 1s. So that's a further 3 saves. These are all 4 pluses. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. Yeah. Gone is this Exalted Chariot with the Torment of Wind. Yeah, good luck. Oh, it wasn't so bad.
Hey.
And that's a primary kill. We're gonna consolidate just a little bit there. Sure, good enough for me. And 1 victory point for me. And then over to your pick.
Yeah, we'll probably use those last 2 Daemonettes to maybe do something. So 9 attacks.
These Daemonettes are just gonna stay there and attack. I don't think there's any way they could cheat out of that fight. Maybe, I don't know. Attack wave from over here. He has to get closer to that one though. So no, it's not really a way. Alright, doesn't really matter.
Nah.
Okay. Hitting all 3s.
Oh no.
Not the best roll. 5s to wound.
Yep.
Just gotta do a few damage. Nothing.
Ooh.
No real... I guess what that does is it stops them from piling in too much. That one's gonna be within half an inch. That means this one's gonna do just the same. And they're all gonna fight. The Plague Bear's on top. 4s, that's a wound. That was a wound. And 2 wounds so far. And then the bugs down below. They are way too far away to reroll 1s now. And 3s. That's a further 4. So 6 saves on the Demonettes.
6 is the holy number after all.
It is.
Nope.
Not enough though. Bloop. You know what I've been forgetting for our 1 secondary is every time a unit's destroyed, you get to roll to see if you get extra victory points. So I'm going to roll it there. I do, because I rolled high, but we're just going to retroactively do it. So I'll get a victory point for that. And then the chariot over there, I do not roll high enough. Then we got a dude for the Hellflayer I killed earlier. Nope, didn't get points for that. Roll for that chariot already. And then that was the first unit of Demonettes I fully killed.
Yes.
Right? Because the other one's in reserve. Yeah. And the other one's like mostly dead.
Almost there.
Now we didn't roll for you killing my Nurglings. So if you roll higher than their leadership, you get a victory point. That's on turn 1. You do. And these guys are going to consolidate a little bit off of that. Sure, that's fine. This guy will just doesn't do much. Stupid bugs getting stuck on everything. That's it for my attack back there. You have Shalaxi fighting into my Plague Bearers now. I forgot my Psyche phase again. My gosh, guys. Okay. The only thing I'm going to do, it's a quick one. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep forgetting it. It would have changed nothing. It increases their damage to 2. That means Shalaxi would have taken 2 more damage, which would have gone off. You can try and stop it on a 10. It's easy enough to fix, thank goodness. So she takes the 2 saves she failed. Those were 2 damage each. So she goes down to 13. And then I would have cast Smite, and that is it. Which I fail. Done. Easy. It turns out our Psyche phases suck. And that's Virulent Blessing on their weapons. Attack with Soul Piercer hitting on 2s. And you get to reroll. And then these are wounding on 2s. Into my Plague Bearers.
No rerolls. Not a carry.
No rerolls here. Didn't need it though. Well, I want to see that roll for myself. I stopped 2 of them, so that kills 4 of my Plague Bearers.
Yep.
Because it's just flat 3 damage.
Yep.
The Claw. I'll hit. And use a strength 3s to wound.
Yep.
No rerolls here. That's 3 saves. Of the demonic variety, I make 1 more dice. That's 5 dead. So Shalaxi skewers 5 of the Plague Bears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not bad. Not bad at all. That is it for the turn. I owe you a morale check. I just lost 5 of my Plague Bears. Which I'll do. And this is when you would use Dark Invigoration in the morale phase.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we'll resolve yours though in a second. Because it shouldn't matter. I lost 5 Plague Bears. I'm going to roll 6. That is a victory point because the Plague Bear is going to run away. Mm-hmm. And I got to roll for 4 more of them. Oh, that's a drop die. Sorry. Okay, just 1 more runs. That's it. So 1 more victory point for Nourishing Terror. And then let's heal your stuff because of Dark Invigoration for your Warp Storm point. And then also, I get 2 points just for having these 2 table quarters for my Reality Rebelling. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to heal Shalaxi D3 wounds. It's 3 up to 15. Nice. I can't do math. 16. And the other Keeper Secrets is at 16 currently. Going to go up to...
Beautiful.
Brutal. And then we get D3 of these Demonettes back. Can we get a 3rd one? No. Just 1 Demonette. Got the 1 back there. And then I get my 2 points for Reality Rebels, and that is it, folks. We are going to go on to the 3rd battle round. We're going to roll for more Warp Storm points. Do mine first. I got 4 again. Damn, I really want that 5. I also want to heal my Great Unclean One, so I'm at 4. And Ian gets to roll. Can you get 6 again? Ooh, yeah, you got 6 again. Nice. All right, so this is currently where our Warp Storm points are at. I'm at 4, Ian's at 6, 2 to 6 command points for Nurgle, and I'm gonna give you guys an overview of points before we score on this turn. It's very close though. Currently is 29 points for the Demons of Slaanesh against my 27. Up by 2, because you got a couple more points on the Reality Rebelling, because you're holding the middle. I'm a little too slow to contest it for now. And that's mostly it, really. The killing and everything's kind of like, I get a little bit more here, you got a little bit more there. So that's where the difference is really right now. For command phase, these Demonettes can get +1 to hit from that Torment Bringer.
Yep.
And then for scoring, Ian is on 3 of the objectives, not more than me. So it would be 8 points for that as well. Moving, Keeper Secrets.
Just gonna slot into a spot where it can make a bunch of charges.
Yeah, staying an inch away from everything there. And then this Exalted Chariot is
done playing Roadblock.
It's gonna move. It's like 12. It's a 14-inch move, but it's gonna move to there with a 12-inch move and fight over there. There's no point in roadblocking anymore because we're fighting over here now.
Yep.
That Secret Chariot with the Tormentor is gonna move up to there. We're going to reposition the Demonettes back here to move to the front of the objective.
Just in case.
Might as well advance them, get a little bit of extra movement out of them.
Yep.
There we go. Nice. These Demonettes move forward. This Keeper Secrets moves forward just to get these lined up for some mortal wounds. Because if we can do 8 mortal wounds to them, then Shalaxi is free to charge, and my Great Unclean move forward heals up too much. Kind of all we want for movement, because they're currently holding the middle for extra victory points for rebelling realities and all that good fun stuff. And then we're going to bring in the last unit of Demonettes as reinforcements, probably using the Locus ability on a Shalaxi Hellbane. It looks like all the named characters have the Locus ability. The pieces of terrain have the Locus ability. But for whatever reason, the Demons of Slaanesh didn't get the Fane of Slaanesh as an option, but the Infernal and Rapturous acts as the Locus, so you can show up near the Fane, not the Fane, the Infernal and Rapturous as well. Showing up there, wholly within 6 of Shalaxi. More than 6 away from the Plague Bearers, and overall there's like too much like gumming up the field here to really utilize our reinforcements too well. Like there's just a lot of the demon stuff's kind of cheap and you can flood the board in it, which is kind of cool. As we go to the psychic phase, I am going to try to use Insidious Whispers again and see if it can... Well, I mean, Ian just rolled so poorly on his last psychic phase that it didn't really have an effect. But that's the one where if you do a psychic test near any of my demonic units, you suffer perils on any doubles for 2 of my 4 Warp Storm points. We're going to try and summon some sickness on my turn as well. Lax is going to try and do some tricks to get some mortal wounds going. We're going to start with the Phantasmagoria on the Nurgles.
Cacophonic Choir.
Cacophonic Choir.
No, wait, yeah, you're right.
Phantasmagoria. Looking for Phantasmagoria. I want a double. Let me stop sucking on the psychic powers. We have you got a Smite or Cacophonic Choir. Their leadership's kind of crap. It's only 7.
Cacophonic Choir.
Cacophonic Choir.
That'll do.
Got it. Ooh, I'm going to try. Ooh, that's an 8. I'm going to try and stop it. Yes. Oh, I do. By 1 deny. That's all I got. But Shalaxi's done casting, so we mitigated some of that. Now we have the other Keeper. Yep. Pavane of Slaanesh from that Keeper. Same kind of target. That's not a double. Does it work on a 6?
Yes, it does.
All right, 4 dice. And these are 5s to deal mortal wounds. I'm going to suffer a mortal wound. And then Smite for the second power, I suppose. Oh, we got a double as well. That's a peril. So you suffer. I'll reroll that now flat. You suffer 1.
Okay.
I will take D3 mortal wounds because it's a smite. That's a 1. Kills that guy because he was wounded earlier, and then you suffer a mortal wound down to 18. There we go. Fast Keeper is going to attempt Symphony of Pain on the Plague Drones.
7.
That's a 5. 1 command point to reroll that. That's a 5.
Come on.
No doubles.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no point in smiting because the 2 smites left would hit these beasts of Nurgle. And you could technically kill them if one of them is a super smite, but if you don't, then the beast of Nurgle will heal the full at the end of this phase because that's their new regeneration rule. Yep. And then you're just risking rolling doubles.
Yep.
Like you can take the risk if you want to.
No.
Let's do a hypothetical.
All right.
We won't lock it in. So the first one. You take
Yep.
Good thing you called, and then the second. What would the second one? I guess you wouldn't have done the second one.
Yeah, that would have been my Keeper, and that would have been.
You would have taken 2d3 mortal wounds for the gamble. So we're gonna whip the Plague Bears that we're in combat with. It's an assault weapon, so just hitting on probably 2s still.
Yep.
What a roll!
Much better.
Strength.
Strength 6.
3s to move with the big fancy whip. That is 3 fails. These are demon saves. I save 2 damage each or 1.
2 damage.
Ooh, it kills 2 Plague Bears. That's gonna leave the champion, I guess. Because it's like the same kind of leadership either way. He's a thorn in your side. He's gonna stop you from charging because I don't think there's any other way you can kill him. Shaxi's gonna kick the crap out of him, that's for sure. Yeah. But not before I send in more Plague Bears later. Okay. This Exalted Chariot is gonna whip over the Beast of Nurgle and hit the 3 Plague Bears right there. 3's to hit with the whip. Hey, nice. Excellent. T5, so 5's to wound.
Yep.
And I like this weird game we're playing where like AP doesn't matter, the strength barely matters. It's just, I make my save. There we go. We're into charging. Already locked in combat over here. Yep. Do you know where you want to charge? Does that Keeper just want to charge in everything?
The Keeper, is probably going to end up charging into... It'll end up charging into the flies, the beasts, and these...
Plague Bears there?
Plague Bears, yep.
All right, you don't have to roll it up then, just move them in. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair. Getting within an inch of pretty much everything.
The chariot's going to charge into that beast.
I guess a double ones could fail, but we got a 10. And then we're going to roll up some mortal wounds. You might as well stand on the objective a little bit too, just in case, just to tow it. Bloop. 4 dice on 5s, but then oh look, I take 3 damage and I heal it fully at the end of the phase. A cool little rule on the Beast of Nurgle. They're really hard to deal with. Like big, like a Keeper Secrets will pop them no problem, but like little piddly damage like that, they're kind of awesome, I think. Over to here, the Keeper's going to try and charge up and around into the flies. We're just going to roll it, then figure it out. 2d6. 10 will definitely do it. Charges in, no problem. Actually, just needed a 9 to get in. Well, that's not good for the flies. That's for sure.
Oh no.
So over to here, into the Beast of Nurgle to try and help out the Keeper. That's going to be an 11-inch charge from that chariot, just because it's got to hit my terrain there. Could ignore it for 2 Warstorm points, but it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah. You have a command point if you want to.
We're going to go for it.
You want to see an 11, so you're down to 4 command points. 7 wouldn't have done it either. And onto the fight phase, we're going to start with the newest addition to the army, the Keeper Secrets over here. The Fast Keeper, who's going to attack, I don't know, it's up to you. You get the sword, you get the snappers, and the dagger afterwards.
Yep.
That's the one we summoned, never mind. That's the one that was always there.
Yep.
What would you like to attack?
Sword into the flies.
Sword and the flies?
Yep.
And then what with the snappers?
Snappers into the flies.
Everything.
I want them dead.
Gotcha.
I don't like...
Everything is thick and hard to deal with.
They are.
Okay, dang, I was thinking about -1 to hit, it would have stopped 2 of them. Oh well. These are strength. So 3. The 3 certainly wound. I make 1 demonic save, so that kills 1 fly and does 3 damage to another, which has 2 wounds left. And the snappers. 1 miss. And wounding on, I think 4s.
Yeah, strength 6.
Definitely not the 3. We're gonna go down to 3 command points to reroll this wound roll, looking for a 4-up. That is a wound. And then demon saves. Oh, beautiful. So this kills that guy, and this is a further 3 damage, bringing the champion to 2 remaining wounds. He's the one already engaged. So you're down to 2, and these guys are out of here. So we got left over there, and then we have we can move on to I'm not going to counter-offensive anywhere.
Okay.
Where would you like to fight?
We'll do the Exalted Chariot.
Over here?
Yep. X.
This is into my Beast of Nurgle.
Yep.
Boom. And then you add the extra attacks for charging, right? 5s to wound. That is 3 wounds so far, and I am a happy dog who takes 6 damage. It's only 3 damage. The character one does add 2 damage. That's right. The Torment Bringer. And then we have the Malefic weapons.
All right. And...
Okay. These are going to have to carry, because this is the 2 hit on that?
No, yes.
Okay, nice.
5s again.
2. So that means it takes 5 damage, but it's going to heal the full at the end of this phase. Nothing else could possibly attack it. There's no point in marking it. They have 7 wounds at T6. Or it's, 7 wounds at T6, that's right. You have to do 7 wounds in one go, in one phase to take them out. And then this Keeper over here, I like this flank, and I don't want it to die. So I'm going to give these guys -1 to hit for 2 command points.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll help, but it would have helped the other one, so I'm going to hope it helps over here. And I can bring one in the back if they all live, because these 2 are within 12 of the Great Unclean One. So as long as I lose that one and that one. Mark of Excess gives it an additional attack. These are 3s to hit. Well, it didn't. Okay, my -2 to hit didn't help at all. And then 3s to wound. All right, 3 of them going through. And I demon save 1 of them, which means that kills the 1, and this is going to put the other one down to 2 wounds. Vortex from the claws.
Okay.
The 2 misses.
The 2's gone. Yep.
And then 3s. 4s actually. 2 of them.
Yep.
And I demon save neither. You're dead, and you have 2s left. Interesting. Very interesting. Boom, boom, boom. Now, the question here is, do you want to consolidate into me so I can attack you back? Because if you don't, I'll get 1 of them back, and then that's 2 that are free to fly over and attack. On my turn.
I'll consolidate for sure.
Yeah, then that is something you'll have to do there. No problem. You're within about 3 3/4, so you can engage it, and then I'll be able to fight back there. Is that it for your charges?
Yep.
So I'm gonna try and get some damage in with that plague ridden there.
Get him.
I hit Shalaxi on 5s.
Be a hero.
I get to reroll the 1. I wound because I rolled a 6.
Nice.
Shalaxi has a 4-up save. That's 2 damage because it does the same psychic power. What a god. I'm just going to go ahead and bloop. Roll me 2d6 to see if you get a victory point for killing a unit for Nurtured by Terror. You do, because that's higher than his leadership.
Better than 7.
Yeah, so that is a victory point. And then I'll just attack with this guy first. It's the Plague Ridden on the bug, so he hits a 4, so no rerolling. You do the rest of the attacks in the same way. These both hit, no rerolls. 5's to wound.
Toughness 7, actually.
Toughness 7? Okay, well, strength 4 is the lowest. No damage. And then I'm going to go into this Beast of Nurgle, who's base locked with that Exalted Chariot. So we're going to put the 6 attacks into the Exalted Chariot. And we hit it once, and we wound it. 4-up save. You're good. Those 2 Beasts of Nurgle who are going to attack the Keeper. And the 12 attacks into the Keeper on 5s because it's -1 to hit. That's 8 mortal wounds on 6s. And just 8 mortal wounds. This guy piling in just a little bit more. There we go. What are there, 21 wounds or 20?
20.
20. Oh, Shalax is 22.
Yep.
So down to 12. And I got the bug attacking as well. Plague Ridden, the champion, no hits there. We're too far away for rerolls. And then could you pile in those Plague Bears a little bit there? Get those 3 Plague Bears in there. And 5s to hit. That's 1 wound. No rerolls here. Just 1 wound. 4-up, I believe. Okay, you're good. Now you can do the ritualistic dagger at the end of the combat phase. So it's going to try and stab the Plague Drone there to finish it off. And a 2+, it'll strike. It does D3 mortal wounds. I only have 2 wounds, so 3 up and I'm dead. Oh, you got him. That one just is the hand that heals, the Sinistrous hand. So the dagger just does extra damage. All right, 2d6 to see if you beat the leadership there for killing that unit. It says destroyed by, it doesn't really say attacks or abilities. I assume abilities and attacks both work. That will not exceed its leadership. So that is it. Not bad, eh? Not bad at all. Okay. So that is a pretty good turn. I'm having a hard time dealing with these Keepers. I don't think the Nurgle army can really tangle with them super well right now. They're Keepers. They're really powerful. Like if I had
good.
If I had 3 Great Unclean Ones or 3 Bloodthirsters, they're all pretty powerful. So that means the end of your turn, scoring. You do have you have a unit in this table quarter now.
Yep.
A unit in this table quarter and this table quarter and in the middle. So you have 4 victory points for that one this turn. Leadership stuff over there. 1 that passes. I don't think anything over there has to check. That is it.
Yeah, you're good.
And Ian rolled high enough on Dark Invigoration again, so you can just, everything heals D3. So we're going to get D3 wounds back on this Keeper. 9, oh, it goes back to full.
Good.
Yep. D3 Demonettes are back. 2. Back up to 5. 5 again. Now Shalaxi's going to heal D3. 1, up to 15. And then the only thing else to heal will be that Keeper over there. It's currently at 12 remaining wounds. And 15. Whew. That's a great Dark Invigoration. Not bad. The Demons of Slaanesh are starting to pick up some pace here. Really having a hard time getting through them. And they're taking a slight victory point lead. And you have nothing else in reserve. That means my Plague Bears back here can kind of show up. As long as I get rid of... The problem is, they can like disappear off the board and go into strategic reserve, the Chariots. They got a lot of utility in that regard for stratagem, so I got to keep that in mind as well. Okay, well, we are going to go ahead and go into my turn 3. All right, so we are on turn 3 for me. I get a command point, Ian gets 4, he goes up to 4. I do have 2 Warp Storm points left, so we're going to hopefully Wave of Sickness comes in big for me here. Well, my command phase is a tough call. I can either bring back, well, this guy heals 3 because of his Relic. He was up to 12 wounds. Boop, 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 boop. Not bad, he's right back up there. And then next turn he heals 4, then he heals 5. So he heals quite a bit if he lives to the end of the game. Then I can either bring one of these back, or I could bring back D3 Plague Bears over there. The problem is the one back over here means he's probably dead to this. Keeper's going to chop him up something fierce over here. So I'd have to fall back, which means he'll just get charged by some Demonettes and probably die too. So, and then over there, it's not looking super good for those guys either. I think I'm going to bring back a Plague Drone. I'll bring one back over here. For the purposes of retreating, probably. Not in love with that idea, but it is what it is. Command phase, I'll get 8 victory points for the primaries there. Forgot to note that Ian got 2 points on the primary of this battle run. 1 for killing the Plague Bearer, unit, and then the other one's for killing the plague drone unit. So starting to hemorrhage units here a little bit as Nurgle, which is not ideal. I just go for a Hail Mary here to hope for the best. Expect the worst kind of thing, one of those deals. Dealios here, so I think we're good to go into movement because I don't have... Oh, I got these guys to resolve in the hero phase. These guys are going to get +1 to their move, advance and charge rolls, and from the Sloppity Biopiper, and then the other character, the Herald, is going to make it so they get +1 to hit. That's the Scrivener. Now into movement. I'm going to try my best. My Hail Mary this turn is going to be put down Shalaxi. That's my hopes are. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, I'm already hemorrhaging points a little bit. I think I'm down, but I haven't had my turn yet technically, but we're going to try and make it work. Oh yeah, so yeah, +1 hit on them, and then they get to extra movement stuff essentially, and then they're going to probably fall back. So I'm going to start over here though. Yeah. We're going to try and push Shalaxi down. Part of that Hail Mary is I move up to there, and then the Great Unclean One wheels in a little bit just so I don't trap him, because I need that guy to... I needed their initial move to not be slowed down, but they're going to have to charge through the difficult terrain. And I know I could ignore it with the Warp Storm points, but I'm going to try and do as many mortal wounds as I can to Ian's army here with the Wave of Sickness, and hopefully roll well on the charge, because I need like a 6 or a 7 on the charge, because I need that guy to get up there, and I need them to swing this way a little bit, keeping a couple guys on the objective, and then allowing the Great Unclean One to charge him, because as he is right now, he can't legally charge until these guys move out of the way. This Beast of Nurgle is going to run, and he's going to stand on the objective because the game is like too thick. There's too much going on. We're just going to have you go over there. I need something on the objective. Actually, keep him back here. Might as well. Damage on this keeper is making it tough, so we're going to have them retreat from this combat. And they are going to just hang out right here. Outside of 3 for the Heroic Intervention. And they're going to keep it real, as they love doing. And then we're moving on to all of this over here. That's all kind of engaged in combat. Those Plague Bearers of the 3 are going to retreat, though. They're going to move to there. We're going to have you guys move to there, and then these Plague Bearers are coming in. I'm moving the Plague Bearers forward. The characters there to support. Not really too sure what they're going to do, though. And then I still have these Plague Bearers in the back that could do something. They're going to advance, I guess. But I'm afraid of... You know what the one really cool thing about the stupid Warp Storm table is? That I'm afraid of these things going to strategic reserve, but one of the 2 Warp Storm table effects is that when they show up from strategic reserve, they have to treat it as if it's turn 2, which is so good. That is, I think, might be one of the best results on it. It's called Malicious Misdirection. It's only 2 points, and use it in your opponent's reinforcement step, and when they bring in strategic reserves, they show up as if it's turn 2, so they can't show up anywhere in your deployment zone. So good, so good. I honestly think it's one of the best ones. Against a lot of the armies that like to disappear off the table and show up at a later turn for Nephilim data, amongst many other battle or like shadow operation type objectives. Yeah, they're gonna go 5 + 2. There you go. One guy was already on the train, so they got slowed down a little bit by that advance, but they went there 5 anyways. And we're on to the psychic phase. I'll remember it this time. Yeah. We're gonna smite. Got it with a 6. Might as well try and stop it. Yep. Looking for a 7. Nope, not quite. D3 mortal wounds. 2 to Shalaxi. Shalaxi down to 13. And then we're gonna try Virulent Blessing again. A 6, eh? Let's work on a 6. Looking for a 7 to stop it. 2 and a 5. There you go. You did it. You finally did it.
Hey!
All right, so no extra damage on them. We're onto the shooting phase where I'm going to use my 2 Warp Storm points for a Wave of Sickness. We're hoping for the best. I roll for every one of Ian's units within 12 of one of mine, which will be everything on the table except for what looks like maybe them and maybe those Demonettes. I know that Secret Chariot's within 12. I'll go ahead and check that Beast of Nurgle to them for me. Yep, they're in. Okay, it's everything except for these Demonettes. We're going to start over here on a 6. Nope. Demonettes there. Yes. They're going to suffer 3 mortal wounds on that unit.
No, I just got them back.
You just got them back. Shalaxi, this one needs some big... Nope. The Demonettes behind. Ooh, going to suffer a mortal wound. I'll take it. That squad there. And then that Demonette squad in the middle, who's going to take 2 mortal wounds. There's a lot of 6s. Dang. I like Wave of Sickness. Wave of Sickness not bad.
Just how many?
Just 2.
2.
Bloop. Boop. And then the Exalted Chariot. Does this succumb? Nope. The Keeper in the middle. No, it's a 1. And then the What's over here? Those two things, the Secret Chariot with the character, and then the Demonettes. No, I got quite a bit of 6s there.
Not bad.
Yeah, like this game. Actually, the one nice thing I like about this game so far is it's kind of like that. You know, would be dead right now if Ian didn't get like good enough on the Dark Invigoration and all that stuff. And then both, I think Shalaxi would be around 9 wounds. I'd be a little more confident with this. That keeper this keeper would be hurt quite a bit more too. Like the Dark Invigorations have been pretty big here. Okay, that's it for that shooting. We're gonna put the flail and the bile, the noxious bile into Shalaxi as well. So the noxious, we'll do the flail first. D6 plus 3, it'll be 8 swings with the flail. Shalaxi's always -1 to hit. All right, so 4s, that helped stop 3 of them. Oof. And 4s. That is 1 wound at your 4-up.
Nope.
All right. So 2 damage on Shalaxi, down to what? 12?
11.
11? Ooh. And then the Heavy Flamer-esque equivalent, it's the noxious, I'm throwing up on Shalaxi essentially. 2 more saves. 2 4-ups. 1 more damage. 10 wounds left. They fell back. No shooting over here.
Yeah.
And we're good to go. It's charge time. We're going to start this charge off with the Plague Bears right there into that keeper. 4, good enough. Well, they actually charge 5. So, with piling in, we'll be able to get a couple more dudes in there. This guy's going to have to go back there a little bit so when he piles in, it's not as bad. And yeah. And then we have some of the harder charges over here. All right, Plague Bears, don't screw me over now. They whiffed it. That's a command point. Because, yeah, I have to use my command point there. Oh, okay, I'll take a 10. That's actually an 8, though. There we go. I needed that command point. I needed both to happen, no matter what. Like, one does not work without the other here. So but I wanted to do the impact. That's with the Great Unclean One here to try and get a little bit more mortal wounds on Shalaxi. Charging in the big guy. That passes because it's a 3. We're good there. So we are going to have him. I'm going to correct the Plague Bears if I need to. That guy can't be there. Okay, good. So that means that Plague Bear is just going to hang out there. He doesn't really matter. So we'll end up right there. Excellent. And then that Plague Bear would hang out right there. I'll do a hypothetical though. I would have failed. Okay. Good thing it didn't matter if I had that command point or not. Because that's the one I roll. I need to roll 6 to do D3 mortal wounds, but I get to add 3 to the roll for the big Great Unclean One because he's a thick boy. Okay, well, I get to do all my charges first at least. I have no command points to augment most of this. We're going to see what the Great Unclean One can do first. Roll for his Warlord trait though at the start of the fight phase on a 2-up. Shalaxi takes a mortal wound. 1 mortal wound. Great Unclean One's in the top bracket again. These are hitting on 3s because Shalaxi is -1 to hit. And then these wound on, I think these are 5s to wound. No, it's a strength 8 attack, yeah. So 4s. So 3 wounds at 5-up saves. I don't know if we were doing 4-ups for Shalaxi earlier or not, but it doesn't really matter here. 4 more damage. 7 attacks from the Nurgling Claws, which we hit 2 times. And wound once. 1 more, 5-up. 1 damage. Nope. 4 wounds remaining on Shalaxi. Do you want to counteroffensive before I go with the Plague Bears or anything like that? Wild? Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Counteroffensive, but not over here. Over on this keeper, who's also rather hurt. You want to attack the Beast of Nurgle, flanking it currently. 6 attacks with the sword.
Ooh, not great.
No negatives, but those 3 do hit. 3s to wound. That is a couple of wounds. And I am going to stop 1 of them. So that's 3 damage so far.
Okay.
2 of these claws have to go through. 2s? Ooh,
there
that's not bad. 3s to wound. Or 4s even. Ooh. Well, those definitely fail. Oh, he lives. He makes the demon save. He's 1 wound left. So there's 1 wound left, and the Ritual Dagger could still do it because they're both at the end of the phase. The Keeper just needs to live.
Yep.
I am going to just keep attacking from where I charge. We'll go to the Plague Bears here next. You'll go up to there, and then you'll go into that spot, and I'll be attacking with 6 of them. One of them's the Plague Ridden, though. Ooh, that's breachable. Never mind. So we'll pile him onto the objective, but that won't actually... And he's going to go base contact, which... I can't... It's actually off the objective, technically. To get closer, I would have had to go on base contact, because I charged a little bit too close. So it doesn't really matter, because it's Ian's objective anyways. So we're going to have our 7 attack Shalaxi here. There are 5s to hit, though. Rerolling 1s. The 6s are good because they wound. Oh, that's a lot of rerolls. Wow, that's a lot of rerolls. Did it matter? No. Didn't actually help whatsoever. You have 2 hits in there, which wound on... I think I need 5s normally.
Yeah, I think you need
6s.
5s.
So just 2 saves. 2 5-ups. 1 damage.
Okay.
Lexi's down to 3 remaining wounds. Not bad. We almost got there. A couple better rolls. I did pretty good though, actually. Just Ian failed a lot of saves. Almost got there. The only other thing that charged are these plague bears here. You'd pile into there, allowing you to get in it. That's about it. So it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them attacking. All right, here's all their attacks. These are back to 4s because they're +1 to hit, -1 to hit. 6 is wound. That's 4 wounding hits. No rerolling over here. And then these should be 5s to wound with a reroll because the herald's nearby. 4 saves. It should also be a 5-up. No shield on it.
Yep.
That's 3 damage. Boop. Not bad. Okay, and then you get to do your first non-charge elect, which is the chariot or Shalaxi.
We'll do the chariot.
The chariot will go and try and take out that beast of Nurgle. Good luck.
Yeah, we'll need it.
Okay, it's a cool looking roll. And then these are strength 4, so 5s to wound.
Yeah, 5s to wound.
That's 2.
Not enough.
We take 1 damage. We have 6 wounds left. These 8 lashing tongues have to do 6 damage.
They have
Stranger
to perform
Things.
almost perfectly.
Okay. Pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
There's still a chance.
I'd love to see it. 5s to wound. That's 2. Oh,
Not
that's
enough.
Don't even have to roll the saves. It's going to heal the full
Nope.
at the end.
Your turn.
So that's that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to fight with that beast and go back, I guess. 4s. 2 mortal wounds. 10 wounds left on the Exalted Chariot. And then I'm going to do the Plague, the 2 beast Nurgle attacking the Keeper. All right, 6 6s and we're in the game. 2. That's 4 mortal wounds. And then I hit on 5s because you're a Keeper. 1 more. So 1 5-up save. Just 4 damage. 4 damage. 4 mortal wounds. 8 wounds remaining. This, not bad. The Keeper line is holding strong. And now Shalaxi is free to attack. Great Unclean One or Plague Bearers?
Oh, we're straight into the Great Unclean One.
I like it. That's smart. 4 attacks with the spear. Can't remember what it's called.
Yep.
Something fancy.
Soul Piercer.
Hitting on 4s now. 4 rerolls. Okay, couple hits. These are 3s to wound with 4 rerolls. And the reroll. Ooh. Demon save? We don't. So that's going to be D3 plus 3 damage.
Yep.
Roll that bad boy up. So that's going to be 3 damage because of -1. And the clankers.
Hit him with claws.
The claws. Hitting on 4s, 4 rerolls. 4s because Shalaxi's pretty hurt.
Yep.
And then these are 5s to wound with 4 rerolls. Ooh, 4 rerolls though. That's what the Warlord trades for. That's 2 wounds, and I passed neither. That takes 4 more damage because of the -1 on both of them. So 5 wounds left. Both of our creator demons over here are just struggling. That's it. We're done this fight here, but you have your ritual dagger to resolve.
Yes.
I wonder, actually. Ooh, very fun. Another fun interaction with the Beasts of Nurgle. Love these guys.
I
They're
hate
awesome.
these things.
Yeah.
The worst things ever.
So the one in the further back, doesn't really matter, has 1 wound left. He's got the ritual dagger. And the ritual dagger is at the end of the fight phase. On a 2+, deal D3 more wounds to a target. But it's my turn, and the Beast Nurgle says at the end of every phase, heal back to full health if it's been allocated any wounds. So obviously, I would say the order of it, I would heal first, take the wounds, and then at the end of the morale phase, heal those wounds. Yes. But I offered Ian a reroll earlier in the combat phase off camera, and then he said, well, I got the ritual dagger, which will probably kill it off. I'm like, you're right. And then I thought, wait a second, those are both at the same time. I can choose to heal first. So I'm going to let Ian do a reroll here because he had 2 fails on his wound roll. That's a save, and then I demon save it. That's it. It was always going to come down to that demon save there. So I am going to heal the full, and then on a 2-up your ritual dagger. You could actually do something else if you wanted to, because I'm going to heal the full anyways. Ritual knife wouldn't matter then. Okay, so the ritual knife does D3 more wounds, and in the morale phase, if that Beast of Nurgle has any wounds allocated to it, and it was not slain at the end of by the end of the phase, it heals back to full. So it actually heals in the morale phase. But now we do have morale to do.
Yep.
And we're at a slow. Actually, I don't think there is any morale to do. We're at a very, very slow grind here. 5 wounds left.
Oh, they lost.
Oh, they did lose 3
Yeah,
little
did.
friends. All right, roll that up. Here's a die for you right there. Can you roll poorly for me? Nope, that's a perfect roll. I should probably point out that that's not a thing anymore for demons. We were talking about how that used to be a big thing for demons. I'm like, you're right, you used to get D6 friends back. No, that's an Age of Sigmar thing. And even in Age of Sigmar, it's limited as well. What the banner does now is it makes it so your combat attrition can never be modified. So you're just only ones do things run away. And if you fail the first roll. However, score-wise, I'm in these two table quarters. I didn't kill anything, but we're getting close. Like, the keepers are, like, on the knife's edge. We got Shalaxi at 3. That keeper over at 8.
Yeah,
and
it's on the rough side.
It's on the rough side of things there. I get 2 points for this. And I get no points for the primary either. As we go to the 4th battle round, the score is 44 for Slaanesh, with some keepers hanging on by a knife's edge against my 38. That's where we're at for points. It's damn close. It's the closest game. Let's roll for Warp Storm points and see what we get. All right, Mr. 6, you roll first this time. Table 2.
Not so good. Not so good, Johnny.
It reminds me of the Warp Storm table back in 7. So good. All right, watch me get. What do I get?
Oh,
I get my 5.
hey.
Ooh, I get healing maybe, or I could do the Insidious Whip. The Whispers and everything might make you a little worried to do psychic powers though. So that's where we're at.
My oh my, here we are, turn 4. Got a little lucky on the Warp Storm points there. It's 2-to-1 command points.
Okay, we're going to try and get a little bit closer with the Chariots. Torment Bringer and the Chariots.
Now, it could give its +1 to hit to either Demonette squad in the command phase. Which one would you like it to give it to?
I'd say that one's more likely to see combat.
Alright, so it
Do
is
that
them. And then these Demonettes move forward as well. And of course, at the end of the command phase scoring, Ian does have 3 of the objectives. That'll be 8 victory points, because I also have 3 of the objectives. And encroaching this Keeper's Secrets up forward to try and push through this flank. Alright, well, as we go into the Psychic phase, I think instead of healing, I will go for the Insidious Whispers to put pressure on the Demons of Slaanesh in case they roll doubles and perils across the board. That will reduce me to 3 Warp Storm points.
Alright, so we're going to throw, finally, Hysterical Frenzy onto those Daemonettes there to give them 1 extra attack and some exploding 6s.
On a 7.
Got it.
Ooh, that's an 11. Not a double either. Matt says that's 10. That's how that works. There you have it. That's all theirs.
Very good.
And the second power will be a Smite hitting the flies, which is, ooh, an 11. That's D6 mortal wounds. 2. Does kill 1, which is bad because that breaks this line up. We got just, that was the champion as well. Moving over to this Keeper's Secrets, we're going to attempt a Symphony of Pain onto the bigger squad of beasts, the 2.
On a 7.
That is a 7. Well, I might as well try and stop that with my Great Unclean one. Looking for an 8+. Nice.
Got it.
And we're going to put Smite from that keeper onto... Oh, you pretty much pick whatever you want because it's all the same. Plague Bears, all right. Looking for a 6. That's a 7. D3, oh, yeah, D3 more wounds. That is a wound. Is on that Plague Bearer back there. Over to here, there's no point in risking a perils because Smite won't do any damage to the beast. And then Shalaxi's in 2 precarious. 1 miscast and Shalaxi could die.
Not risking it.
And then that's a double on any double because of Insidious Whisper.
Yeah, not doing it.
So we're on to shooting.
We got whips.
Whips. Shalaxi's gonna try the lash against the Great Unclean one. The BS stays the same.
2s.
That's a good
All
start.
hits.
5s to wound. That is, oh, we're too thick to hurt. We're gonna throw the lash because the Plague Bears are within an inch into the Plague Bears there from the Chariot.
3s because it's not a Herald.
Sorry, it's been a spell. They're not in combat. The Beast and Nurgle and them are in base contact, and I specifically put the Plague Bearers to be outside of the inch earlier. That's why they haven't been interacting earlier. My bad. Lashes into the Beast and Nurgle, but the Beast and Nurgle can't die to it. He'll just heal the full.
Yep.
It will bring us to charging. We have this Keeper could otherworldly tread and try and charge into here, but it's about a 9 or a 10-inch charge to up and swing around. But it's not a bad charge if you make it. Otherwise, this is a pretty simple charge into this thing. Yeah, it's about a 9-inch charge to make it in there, but it's still a risk. That's while spending 2 Warp Storm points as well. Yeah.
And if I kill that rot fly, it's a victory point. So.
Yeah. Just the fly then. Just the plague drone. Well, that's a 9.
That'll do.
That's where it's gonna go. Right to the max of that move without hitting this. It could have made it into Plague Bears, but we would have also had to spend 2 Warp Storm points to do it. The Secret Chariot with the Tormented Bringer into the Beast of Nurgle. Because it will hit terrain. That actually passes. That does pass because you only need to go an inch. It does make it as perfect. Now, this one has different impact hit rules over the Exalted Chariot. Never mind, I am incorrect. I was thinking of the Health Layer has a different impact thing, but all that matters is you get the extra attacks because the mortal wounds can't hurt the beast. They can hurt the Beast of Nurgle, but they'll heal it at the end of the charge phase. From there, the Demonettes are going to attack the Plague Bears over here. Roll to see how far they go.
Look, they're in.
They made it. Freaking one overextended Plague Bear is causing me great strife here. Is that one of those 2 extra attacks on Shalaxi? It might have mattered. I actually don't know because I didn't separate the attacks. Who knows if that one is the one who did it?
Well, let's see.
That is it for charges, though.
Yep.
We're on to the fight phase, where I do have at the start of the fight phase, he erupts in that miasma. And on a 6, I could do D3 mortal wounds. Otherwise, it's only a single mortal wound. This is against Shalaxi on a 2+. For big drama. Nothing! 0 mortal wounds. Very good. Alright, so nothing to really do with the Warp Storm points or command points right now. So right on to fighting. This charged, and so did the Chariot over there. I don't have enough to counter-offensive, so it doesn't really matter where you go. Oh, and the Demonettes, of course, yes. Start this off with the Keeper Seekers over here into my bug. Alright, attacking. This is the mark of excess. Keeper on 2s. Well, that's a bad start.
That's no good.
Okay. And 3s?
Yes.
3s. That is a pair of wounds with that sword that does 3 damage each. And I will roll neither demon save. You do cut the bug up. Now roll me a leadership check to get the victory point for killing this thing. You roll an 8, which is, you definitely roll higher than its leadership. Because I think it's only 7 with the champion. And I don't have a banner there. And that's not the champion. So that's a victory point for Nourished by Terror. A kill for the primary as well. Would you like to consolidate anywhere?
Yes, please.
Like in this general area?
Yeah.
So 3 inches about here-ish. About there.
Yeah.
Demonettes can go now to try and cut up some of the Plague Bears.
Let's do.
They're all in, and that Demonette's within half an inch, so anything within half an inch of that Demonette, good to go. Now, a couple of them did die to probably Wave of Sickness earlier, so we're going to do 33 attacks. There's only 8 of them there. Here, the Alluresque is the extra one. And we just remembered Hysterical Frenzy, so it'll be a few more attacks on top of that. It's going to be 41 attacks. Here's the first half. These are 3s. We're only ones for a Keeper nearby. And the rerolls. Okay, a few more misses, a couple more misses, but we have 3 6s in there, so that's 3 more hits. And the wound rolls, we're looking for 5s here with no rerolls. That's not bad.
All right.
Here's 20 on 3s. Rerolling any 1s, and we are looking to fish for some 6s here. All right, not bad. These are going to be 5s to wound.
Okay.
16 saves. So I'm going to save 4. I lose, that's 14, so 7 die. That's 12, so that's 6 die. Well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go down. Leaving me with those 4 Plague Bears remaining. Consolidate in. And then the last charge is that Chariot with the Torment Bringer attacking the Beast of Nurgle. The Beast of Nurgle on 2s. No rerolls. 5s to wound. And that's 2 of them. Or 2 damage each though, because it's the Torment Bringer. So that's 4 damage with 3 wounds left. If those Seekers could do 3 wounds with the Malefic weapons, you'll kill one. Malefic 4, because there's only the 2 Seekers there. That's 1 hit. Well, you see if it wounds it still, because the Keeper could take it out later if it wants to direct the attacks over that way. No. So this one's got 3 wounds left. So 1 attack from that Keeper sneaking in could do the trick. Except for the charges, now I have that. If I didn't lose all the Plague Bears here, or as many as I did, I would have easily picked them, because there's 6 to hit just wound, and like just a 5 up save on Shalaxi. That's my best, but that was my best bet. Now I only have 9 attacks, and I'm only really going to get a couple 6s on that, and then the other ones aren't going to follow through, so they're not the right pick anymore. And the Great Unclean One's not the right pick either, because -1 to, he's very bracketed, -1 to hit, -1 to wound Shalaxi. That's not really going to carry through to too much. Yeah, he's in his bottom bracket, so he's only got 4 attacks with that Doomsday Bell, and the Nurglings naturally. And the anything, I need 2 Bell attacks to sneak through, or a Bell and a Nurgling to sneak through. I think it's my best bet. I think it'd be crazy not to take this opportunity to do it, but a part of me wants to go over there with all of this and hit that Keeper of Secrets to try and knock it down a little bit and just hope that your bracketed keeper, Shalaxi, also has a hard time getting through my Great Unclean One.
That's a rough bet, though.
It is. Well, realistically, I only have 4 attacks with that bell, hitting on 5s, so I'm going to get 1 hit if I'm lucky. And then the wounding on 4s, and then a 5 up. I'm going to go for the bell, because I think I'll die if I don't. If I lose the 1 Beast of Nurgle over there, it's not the end of the world. All the attacks spill over and kill the second one, though. That's a little scary. I think I'll go with the Great Unclean One, though I don't expect it to do much here, but I think it's my best bet. All right, we got 4 attacks hitting on 5s because Shalax is -1 to hit. We got a hit, not bad. No rerolls. And then this is wounding on 3s normally, but to 4s. There you go, the cloak helped. I have 1 command point to use on something here. I could use it on a save on him, or I'll use it here, I guess. No, that's a 3. We got our 7 Nurgling attacks on 5s and 6s. Nope. I don't mind that so much. I knew it was there. No matter what, I was in a losing pick there. Every pick was a bad pick, I think. That's it. All right, that's my 1 pick. You get to fight. You could go Shalaxi if you're worried about the Plague Bear sneaking through damage. All right, this Keeper Secrets over here is going to go all in on those 2 Beasts of Nurgle to try and take them out. Both middle bracket, so maybe that'll help keep them going. 5 attacks, hitting on 2s still.
Hitting on 3s.
All 3s because of bracket fight. Ooh.
Oh,
well,
dear.
hitting on 3s really shows there.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then this wounds on a 3 with the sword.
Yep.
That wounds. I'm not demonic. That does pop a dog. The Snapping Claws, Malefic Boar, hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s. Well, this is a strength 7 or 6.
Strength 6.
Okay, 1 wound then. Aha, that's a wound. The dogs have a rule called Gooey Demise. No, it was not a gooey demise. So the Torment Bringer going in there made a world of difference. I'm not going to bother marking the wounds on that one because he's going to heal he's got 3 wounds left. He's going to heal.
I've still got the Ritual Knife.
Oh, it's your turn. Yeah, your turn. You pick what happens first.
Aha.
There you go. My pick. Shalaxi hasn't gone yet, so we're going to go ahead and attack with these Plague Bears in hopes for the best. We have 5 attacks against Shalaxi. 9 attacks. We hit on 5s because Shalaxi is -1 to hit. We got a wound, which is nice, and a reroll. Didn't matter. And then this should be not that. So one 5-up save on Shalaxi for some damage potential. 1 damage. 2 wounds remaining on Shalaxi from all that. And then that's my pick. We're going to go on the Exalted Chariot into the Doggo. See if they can bring it down. They have to roll pretty well, though. 3s.
Ugh.
Yeah, they're not core. And then this wounds on 5s. That's okay. And then roll up the 8 Malefic attacks.
Tongues.
Has to do 7 damage. Little licks. A bunch of little licks.
Seems unlikely.
All right, that's not enough damage to go through. We're going to roll anyways just in case, because you never know, something weird might happen, like an explosion or some 1 wound. I save it. I am going to go with the Plague Bearers into the Keeper there, because why not? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's still 10. No, there's only 9 they're attacking now. Oh, no, there's 10. Just
there's 10.
One's lagging behind, a little wounded, but he can't get into fight, so 9 it is. 19 attacks. 6s are good because they automatically wound. We hit on 4s because they're +1 to hit, so we have 2 wounds on the Keeper. We don't reroll any of these 1s. I don't know why I'm picking them up. I guess because they're not hits. And then these are strength 4, so 5s to wound. So that's a further 3 wounds, 4 wounds actually, and no 1s to reroll. So that's 6 saves. It's also a 5-up save, which I deal 3 damage to. Down to 5 on that Keeper as our greater demons while stuck scrapping. Well, that's my pick. You might as well go with Shalaxi now, because that's the only one left. Everything's going to the big thick boy. We got the Spear hitting on
4s.
4s right now with full rerolls.
Oh yeah.
Because they're fighting a character. Oh boy, 3 of them go through, and these are 3 swoon because it's strength 12 with full rerolls. 3 of them get in. All right, demon saves. I failed. He's dead. That's minimum 3 damage each. He goes down. I don't think he explodes or anything. Nope. All right. All right. Well, that's unfortunate, but it's all good. He has no grand demise or anything like that. He just kind of slumps over against the rock there. That could have gone anyway. Well, between the Great Unclean One and Shalaxi, you know, as you can see how close it was altogether there. A couple better rolls for Ian. I could have died earlier. A couple better rolls for me. I could have taken a Shalaxi this turn, the previous turn.
That was anybody's game.
That was anyone's there. Okay, well that's effectively it over there. I have a couple fights over here to do. I'm going to do the Beast of Nurgle attacking the Exalted Chariot. If you get the victory point for killing the Great Unclean One on a leadership, you need like a 9 or more.
Yeah.
because these are 10, but you reduce it. That's a point for primary kill. And then these are my Beast of Nurgle attacks. These hit on 4s, and these are, what are you on? What's the toughness on the Chariot? 5 or 6?
I believe it's
3 stages on the Chariot. That's 4 damage in total. They have a 4 up.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, down to 8. And then I got the other Beast of Nurgle attacking the Keeper of Secrets. And 5s. Nothing. Thank you for checking out that battle report, everyone. Don't forget, paired with it in the vault, well, we have more 40k and a lot more to go along with it. So if you're not a vault member and you want to check out this battle report, it will be Death Guard against Deathwatch in a 2,000-point match. Just click on the link down below and you can sign up for a 7-day free trial and test the vault to see if you like it. The vault members sustain us and support us and allow us to continue making the content and narrative campaigns and the skew of all the games we play here possible. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do this, and we greatly appreciate them and any of those who choose to support us. Anyways, I've taken up enough of your day. I will let you get back to it and to more battle reports. I'll catch you next time. Scoring Reality Rebels. I might have given Ian an extra point for that last turn, because there was, oh yeah, it was for that table quarter. Yeah, you have to have equal to or more than I do in that same table quarter to get the point. So you get point for 2, 3 there. This one you are getting a point for because I only have 1 unit wholly within it because the Great Unclean One is dead. And this Keeper Secrets, the line is about here. So the Keeper Secrets is in this table quarter. I don't have more there, so you get the point for that. So it just makes up for the fact that you should have gotten 3 last time, but it gave you 4. So you get 4 this time because you got this table quarter, that one, and the middle. Holding the middle all game has been great. Faster army, getting to go first was the main key there. And then you got a couple points for the primary there. Well, 1 point for the primary there. And my Beast of Nurgle heal up and all that. But I'm going to, because of the death of the Great Unclean One and Shalaxi surviving, I don't have a whole lot left to me. I'll have my turn. I won't be able to do much with it. This one Keeper is going to rampage through this area all on its own.
It's going to be real rough.
It's going to be rough. And that means the second one flank buckled for either player, it was over.
Yep.
If Shalaxi went down and I had my Great Unclean One on my turn, it would have went up to 9 wounds.
Yep.
And then I could have tied up, and then I could have had things tie up this Keeper here, and I could have kept fighting over here. But without that Keeper, I've been playing for long enough. I think we showed off enough of the Chaos Demon book. I'm okay to throw in the towel there. It's a cool book. It's a damn cool book. And the score is damn neck and neck. The score is technically still neck and neck, but this is where the Slaanesh Demons will pull ahead. I don't know if going first mattered. Score-wise, it definitely mattered because Reality Rebels is so good, and holding the middle like that was excellent. I technically picked this side. I shouldn't have done that with that, knowing that you're a faster army, you're going to fight me in my table quarter. But that's just that. You know what? That's actually, I say it a lot of times in games and all that stuff, like live streams or fantasy games. This is an example where I technically lost the game in deployment. I actually lost the game on that initial roll-off when I picked the side. It's kind of weird. I picked this side because my stuff's behind me and I was lazy, and because of the terrain, it lost me the game.
I think the stalemates. I think the stalemate would have been a little bit closer and have been a little bit more. I think it would have been maybe forced the further turn, because you would have been. You probably might have got the middle. But I would have been going straight for it with like the exact same unit.
Exactly, yeah.
And we would have just ended up scrapping over it.
Yeah, we would.
We probably would have. It would have been whoever outlasted each other. So.
Yeah, in this case, I'm too slow to get in there, and I got too bottlenecked in here. It just the Nurgle stuff's very durable, but it lacks. Well, it's a bad. Yeah, the Beast of Nurgle are great.
Oh my, those things are incredible anchors.
Yeah, they do their job perfectly well. But Nurgle's going to suffer the same issue it kind of had before, previously. If you want them to do damage, you do not want to be fighting anything with negative to hit modifiers. As you can see, hitting on 5s of the whole army against the trio of Keepers was not ideal. Their durability shined at the hitting. I cheated a little bit early on and thought Nurgle hit on 3s like everything else, but they still hit on 4s. But they're rather durable. So as long as you're not fighting too many negative to hit modifiers, you should be pretty good to go. I'm very impressed with the Nurgle side of things here, and the Slaanesh seems to be. In fact, Slaanesh was, like, in my opinion, toned down quite a bit too, because a lot of their stuff was caked into the Warpstorm table or stratagems or other things like that. So. Being able to advance and charge is gone, not being able to fight first across the board, and they still did rather well. Obviously, the Keepers are up to 20 wounds now. That's a big change. The malefic weapons are a lot cleaner on how they work. The demonettes are capped at 10, but with some psychic capabilities, they are a hell of a lot better. And I can imagine why they did the psychic the units at 10, because they want to have fun with the psychic abilities, because now they're a hell of a lot more powerful. You finally have a 5-up Delightful Agonies. Doesn't work on keepers anymore. They kept it as a 6, because if it worked on a 5, it would be too powerful for what they have going on.
Yeah.
And a squad of 30 demonettes with a 5-up to ignore damage would be way too much. And a 30-man squad of demonettes with the... What did we just do? The Hysterical Frenzy? Yeah, 30 extra attacks and then exploding 6s. Like, that's like, yeah. You get 1 to 2 things typically. You either get really cool psychic powers that can buff your units and tame units. Yeah. Or you have gigantic units that don't really have any buffs available to them. They just have a lot of numbers.
They changed Hysterical Frenzy from what it was previous, which was fight again in the psychic phase.
Yeah. Which was bonkers.
Well, yes, but they were only 2 attacks in the previous edition, so it wasn't as crazy. It was like if you had a full unit of 30, then it was like 90 attacks when you charged. But if it was still the fight again as it is now, it would be wild, because now you're doing 40 attacks with 10. Yeah. So there's no way you could do units of 30 again, because
with what they have the psychic abilities. Yeah.
It's a tough change for me to get around, because I was building on those blocks of 30 every time. I love that big horde of just writhing Daemonette wildness, and so I have to go back and I have to make a bunch of my command units again to fit all the 6 units that I'm going to bring. Right. But it's an interesting change. I like it.
I think after seeing how it plays, and then you have your waves of demonettes you can throw out, and they're just a great little. They're a little expensive, and the plate bearers are up there a little bit too for like cheap units, but I mean they do the job well enough. And the biggest change I'm happy to see with the Keeper of Secrets is you can still obviously run 3 of them. And it works out, but they can't buff themselves, which I love to see. I hated it. Just felt so bad when they're just mindlessly charging and fighting twice in the psychic phase, 5 up no pains. Now they're pretty reasonable. They could still do very well. This was anyone's game back and forth here.
Hysterical Frenzy on the Keepers could at times be a tad overbearing.
Right, exactly. It was just a classic example of like a new model with really cool rules, utilizing like the old kind of janky stuff to like bring up the old book power, but these things were already pretty good to begin with, so it was kind of annoying. Not like they let me put it this way. Anyone out there who fought against Slaanesh probably was annoyed by the advancing and charging, the fighting of the psychic phase, the 5-up feel no pain on these guys. It was a little rough.
It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's fair.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't like overbearing on the table like certain armies were. There's a difference between something being like a really good army and hard to beat competitively, and then something that just is kind of janky and it's a lot of like technically this works, technically this works, technically this works this way, and that's what these guys felt like to me. Where I would rather get crushed 10 out of 10 games by like just a good efficient army, as opposed to losing 1 out of 10 games to something that's kind of like it's kind of janky, but whatever, I guess it works, right? It's like one of those. That's how I always kind of perceive them.
The changes are, I will say after this game, tough but fair. Yeah,
exactly. Now you see, now the focus is more on the core. Like every army should have a focus on the core of the army, and that's what I prefer. That's a very biased opinion, because I have a strong disdain for very elite, like monstrous kind of builds. So like Imperial Knights, like Keeper of Secrets spamming, but I can see that it's inefficient to do it because they have no synergy amongst themselves. They have to buff units nearby. They themselves are just pretty good. But this looked like a cool list because you still had 60 demonettes and a bunch of chariots and characters supporting it. Like that was amazing.
I love my keepers, but maybe, well, if it weren't for the fact that I needed these to just do the thing, because my complete army was shot because of all the changes. If it were coming down to it, I would drop a keeper. I've got to get Shalaxi now for my army.
Shalaxi's so good.
I've got to have it. But I would drop a keeper, and I would try and put a couple more heralds in there to run along with Daemonettes just so I could do Hysterical Frenzy or Delightful Agonies.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of like something really cool for Slaanesh Army, like the Nurgle army. You've seen how good the Beast of Nurgle can do, and the Plague Drones are excellent as well. On the flip side, the Slaanesh Army, I actually haven't looked at them, but I'd be curious to see what it would look like. Maybe a pair of Keeper of Secrets, a couple of Torment Bringers, and like maybe a couple squads of 6 Fiends with 6 Demonettes.
Yep.
Yeah, so then but those Fiends are core, and then you can do a lot of, you can give those 6 Fiends a 5-up to ignore damage, Hysterical, and then if failing that, you buff up a unit of Demonettes, send it out there, do as much damage as you can with it. A lot of cool things you can do with Slaanesh Army, and it feels good. And then you still have some pretty good, I think all of the demon armies have a 2-cost Warp Storm table effect. Mine was like the Wave of Sickness, where like I roll a 6 for everything nearby. The Slaanesh one I specifically like, especially for Eternal War missions, where whenever a unit goes to perform an action, it has to do a leadership check.
Yep. And
then it gets it's like some sort of mesmerizing distraction. If they fail the leadership check, they take D3 mortal wounds and the action fails. Very powerful.
Very good one.
Especially against like bad leadership spamming kind of armies, right? Yeah, so that's hilariously good. Not super effective in this game because I wasn't taking a lot of actions, and with something with access to that, like someone knowing that might not take those action-based secondaries against Slaanesh, allowing you to use your Warp Storm points elsewhere as well. So that's kind of like, hey, I could do this, so don't take that kind of secondary. And then on top of all of that, like just all Chaos has access to the misdirection as well. So strategic reserves are just crap further. I love that. That's my favorite one. I said earlier.
Very good.
Yeah, Nurgle. I love Nurgle. I had a blast with them. I wouldn't mind trying Corn out, which I'll probably do some point in the future next time I have the opportunity. But I'm happy to see what they do with the Chaos book here, because it feels like the Beast of Nurgle feel good, a great anchor. Everything in the Nurgle line is an anchor. There's nothing that really hits hard. Everything's kind of slow and does good, and like attrition.
Straight up hate these things.
That's fair. Well, they're great. So the best thing my favorite thing about the Beast of Nurgle, you put them in the front of your army. If you have the room on the table, so any psychic spams, any smites will be hitting them, and they don't care about it because those heal back up to full at the end of the psychic phase. So if you're fighting against Grey Knights or 1,000 Suns or something, boom, these things go right out front. And it's like, yeah, good luck getting to my Great Unclean Ones. Because I wouldn't mind running a pair of Great Unclean Ones. The Doomsday Bell's not bad. The Doomsday Bell's good if you're going to run squads of like 6 flies. You're just getting flies back, or Plague Bears getting D3 Plague Bears back. Losing the damage on the Bile Sword kind of sucked. But I think if you were to give him the healing was nice, but the healing only would have been nice if I could have gotten to turn 4 or 5. Elfluvior would be a much better relic. I love Elfluvior, and I would love to give that a shot. But I was a little afraid of using it this game because I thought it might be too good. Like just instantly killing a unit of Demonettes every time. It's 3d3 attacks that 3 damage each. That damage spills over. It's so good. So good. So it's a potential like 27 damage that could just spill over to units. Yeah, I mean that's max hits, max wounds, max damage, right? Yeah, but that's still consistently. Even so, you're rolling about 6. You're hitting on 3, so you got about 4 hits. Wounding on 2s or 3s against the right target, so you're going to get about 9 damage in a lot of cases against the right targets, and that's 9 damage that can spill over.
Yikes.
That could be kind of scary. Anyways, folks, that's it for this game here. Hopefully you got some good insight into what the Demons of Chaos are going to be bringing to the table right now. Watch out for that Warp Storm table. Try and like ask your opponent, what they can possibly do all the time, because there's a lot of things they can do. They extend the range of their instruments. They can do a lot of leadership trickery. Not as much as Chaos Knights, but they're right up there with them. I'd say they're pretty damn good. Maybe Night Lords are a little weird. I haven't actually looked at the Night Lord rules, but these demons have a lot going on when it comes to leadership stuff. And their secondaries are great, as you can see. Yeah. Even like. I think they were all really good because like we were both scoring our secondaries. I don't know if it was specifically because it was demons on demons, but I liked all their secondaries.
They were good.
Yeah. Reality Rebels, if you can hold the middle, if you're Nurgle or something, that's really good. The nourished one is nourished by terror, only getting in certain armies. You wouldn't always take that one, but it was actually good for both of us because we both had kind of bad leadership. So anything with average-ish leadership or pretty bad leadership, not bad. Yeah. Even a starter is like you're getting a victory point when one thing runs away. So not the worst. Anything else you want to add?
Don't sleep on Slaanesh.
Yeah.
If you think that, it's the weak prissy god. No. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're real fun.
They were the best before. I really felt like they were, and now it feels like they were brought down to a more, when you explain what they do, your opponent's not gonna be like, oh, they do that. Now it makes more sense. They're like all the other Chaos Gods, but they're fast and they hit hard, and they have a elusiveness to them, which is good. That's always kind of been their durability, the lightning fast reflexes kind of thing. Whereas Nurgle just has high toughness and good amount of wounds. These are -1 to hit in melee. A lot of the demons have a 4-up save against shooting now, which is amazing for the keepers as well, because they needed to get an exalted upgrade for that, I believe, before. And now the Aegis gives them a 4-up save in melee too, so the 4-up's really good. In fact, that's the only one that died, ironically.
Yep.
Or did any of them die? Oh no, it didn't die. This is it's got full health right here. I just lost the shield. I knocked it off earlier like a dummy. Anyways, folks, I will catch you all next time for some more Warhammer 40k and probably more Chaos Demons, because I always like to play new stuff when it comes out. It gives me a better idea of how they play, and when opponents bring them in, I'll be a little more knowledgeable about them. Because the best way is like keep your friends close, but keep your enemies
thine
closer.
enemy.
Yeah, know thine enemy too. That one works as well. Happy wargaming, everybody. Thank you, Ian, for the excellent game.